Welcome to the Smark podcast. I'm Eric. This is Adam,
Oh, hi, Marks.
and we are here to talk about the best and worst of AEW for the week. But even when talking about AEW, sometimes we have to talk about WWE because sometimes things happen in WWE that may change what's going on in AEW. And this week, it was our what's becoming a yearly segment of should they, shouldn't they go to AEW for the WWE post WrestleMania releases.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath this year. Like,
Yeah,
I've got the list in front of me. Like, it's going in alphabetical order here. You got, and these are all their shoot names. So, or their gimmick names. So, Alba Fire, Aleister Black, Andre Chase, Apollo Crews, Bo Dallas, Chris Island, Dante Chen, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Kyrie Sane, Luca Crucifino, Malik Blade, Motor City Machine Guns, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar, Serena Linton, Trill London, Tyra May Steele, Tyreek Igwe. I hope I pronounced that right because I don't watch NXT. Tyson DuPont, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. Like,
okay.
there's a lot of developmental names in there, but there are a number of surprising names on that list.
Yeah.
Chief
So
among them, probably Kyrie Sane.
yeah, Kyrie Sane. I mean, I can
Uh,
only imagine she's going to end up in AEW. That's a should they, shouldn't they? Yes, yes,
I mean,
yes.
to me, that's a
That's a no brainer,
that's
man.
guaranteed. That's a no brainer
Yeah.
that she should be sought after. There is scuttlebutt online that she may be kind of loyal to Rossi Ogala, though, and may wind up in Marigold. Um, I remember when she got released the first time that she went back to Japan. She
Hmm.
didn't seek employment in the States.
Yeah.
So I feel like AEW absolutely should pursue her because she's incredible. She's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. She would bolster the division tremendously, but I don't know if she really wants to do that. You know, I mean, things may have changed. I don't know. Like, I mean, but the good thing is that in AEW there are several Joshi, so she wouldn't be like the lone Japanese woman on that roster.
Yeah.
I assume that I don't know if she's worked with Mina, but she probably worked with Shida at some point. My is my guess.
I'm assuming them or Riho, at least one of them.
Riho, Yuka, probably.
Yeah, probably Yuka. Yeah.
So
So
like there are several Joshi that she could, she wouldn't be alone on an island
yeah.
necessarily. Um, and there are several really really tantalizing matchups that I would love to see her versus Tekla.
Oh yeah.
I think I think that would be an incredible clash of styles. Two
Yeah.
tiny little women beating the shit out of each other. Like, I think it would be great.
Yeah.
Um, to me, like, she's the one. If you were picking one to come over, she's the one I would seriously go after over everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. That'd
Um,
probably the one.
Others I would definitely consider. Get the Motor City Machine Guns. Get them,
Yeah, I'd
even if it's
consider it.
just like 2 years. Like, well, when I something came up on Blue Sky that altered the way that I looked at their case, because if you remember, they joined WWE right before or like right as we were beginning this podcast in September 2024. It
Yeah.
was like right then. And most of the scuttlebutt was that it was almost a lock they were going to AEW. And then they did. And it was kind of this huge surprise to people.
Yeah. We covered it because it happened while we were doing it. So
Yeah. What I was reminded of in the chatter online this week, once all the list got dropped, was the timing of it. Their one match that they did have in AEW while they were still under contract with TNA, and they had that kind of working relationship, was to team with Jay Lethal against Wardlow and FTR at the first Wembley show, the first All In
Yeah.
at Wembley. That was the night. Or no, not that. It wasn't that show. It was All Out. It was All Out 2022. All Out 2022. That was Brawl Out night.
Mm.
I'm wondering if when their TNA contract came up and they were deciding where to go and who to sign with, if they didn't see their one like night with AEW was the night that showed the worst of AEW's backstage beat bullshit. I'm wondering if that wasn't a factor in them deciding to go to WWE.
It might have been.
Yeah, I had never thought of that before. And oh gosh, I should have checked this beforehand because I reposted it. I want to give them credits. Where are they? Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, the point is that that was just something I hadn't considered. And it's like, that those issues are largely gone.
Mm-hmm.
The people who were involved are no longer in the same space with each other. So and we haven't heard anything about, people being upset backstage except for certain people who, aren't on TV, making it clear that they want to be on TV. And that's like normal wrestler sour grape stuff. That's nothing to write home about. That's nothing unique to AEW.
Yeah.
I think that there's a really good shot that they could wind up back in AEW's conversation, and I would take them. I would, even if they've only got like 2 years left of because the wheels they'll fall off soon enough. But how do you, when you have one of the most influential tag teams of the modern era on the market, how do you not snatch them up if you're trying to bolster your tag team division?
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. AEW has a lot of tag teams, but they only really kind of focus on like 4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't tell me, the Young Bucks wouldn't like their friends in the company. You can't tell me that FTR wouldn't like to defend those belts against Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
And add another 5-star classic to them. You can't tell me that guys like the Rascals wouldn't like to hook it up with them again. And I'm sure they did in TNA.
Yeah.
Those guys are veterans who helped shape an entire style of American independent wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, even put Alex Shelley in ROH for a stint and have him chase his protege Lee Moriarty's Pure Championship. Like, there's money in that. Like, there's stuff you can do with them. I know a lot of people are like, they're old. It's like, no, you take advantage of that while you can. In my book, I think Alex Shelley is one of the great underrated wrestlers of this era. Personally,
I mean, they're both really good. I like the Machine Guns. So I don't know. Them and Kyrie are really the only ones though. Like Alistair didn't really fly. When he was there the first time.
I will, as far as Alistair Black and Zelina Vega, let's lump them together. As long as much as far as theirs concerned, I think I'm just going to defer to the people in AEW who have weighed in on it. There are at least 2 or 3 people that I've seen who don't want them there. I think that's good enough for me. I think that's all I'll say about it.
Yeah. They didn't really fly there the first time. Like Santos might be okay.
I think Santos might be better served going to CMLL or New Japan would be a really good place for him because they're in need of young stars too.
Yeah.
They're in this major rebuilding phase. He could. I don't think they'd be able to afford him though. That's the problem. Like they could really use him, but I think CMLL is probably where he should wind up because then through the partnerships, he still has access to AEW. He still has access to New Japan without having to be in the States. He was a huge star in Mexico. You know, he can do the Mystico deal, go back and be a big star again, and eventually his time will come back around, and he can be home.
I have had luchadors, like WWE alumni luchadors, tell me that Mexico, like if you're on the indies, Mexico is where you go to learn, and Japan is where you go if you want to make money. So
Well, I mean, the reason that
they might be able
New
to afford
Japan
it.
they might be able to afford him, but the reason that New Japan is losing all their stars to AEW is because the yen is real bad right now. So, I mean,
We'll see. I mean, he could get into one or the other and then do a dual contract and probably set him up
and
or set himself
that
up
was
really
the
good.
other thing. Like, you could probably do a triple contract. Takeshita's got a triple contract.
Yeah,
Why can't Santos do it if he
yeah,
wants it? He could do all three.
yeah. Um, some people would say Nikki Cross, but honestly, we had Abaddon and that didn't work for some
I
reason, and I don't understand why.
I love Nikki Cross. Um, but her value isn't with her wrestling so much as it is with her really over the top personality. And I still value that. But I think it might turn some people off.
Yeah.
Because the one time that she was kind of allowed to build her own character, off of an idea that she had, she came up with the almost a superhero thing, and that didn't really connect.
No, it was not good.
I mean, it was a noble try. The idea in and of itself is fine. I mean, maybe it was the execution. WWE fumbles a lot of execution.
It was mostly the execution and the way it was presented and stuff. And they even presented it kind of like a joke, even though if they hadn't, it might have helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
She's great, and I would love to give her a job. And I think that most of the women on this list should probably be a little bit more looked at than the men anyway.
Yeah.
Because they have this tag team division that has like 3 tag teams.
Yeah. I've been looking through this list, like some of these guys like that I have heard of, I only heard of because like they were part of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Some of the guys on this, like a good half of this list, I've never heard of these people.
Yeah, a lot of them were in developmental. Of the developmental people, I don't know most of them.
Yeah.
The one I would seriously consider is Tyra May Steele.
I've
because
never
that is an Olympic gold medalist.
Okay.
That is press that you can make money off of.
Yeah. Now, WWE, though, there's a couple more that I would pick up for tag team division. Because WWE's in need of a couple of tag teams, or not WWE, but AEW's in need of a couple of tag teams for their divisions, both sides. So Motor City Machine Guns, of course, but like, I mean, I wouldn't be particularly opposed to Eric Rowan tagging with Brody King.
That
would be quite
in big bruiser tags, not through any fault of like anybody.
No,
because they keep getting injured. Like, they tried. Davis and Doyle were like the monster tag team, and then Jake Doyle got injured.
They were the monster tag team for 1 week.
3 weeks. It was 3 weeks.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, but then he got it like that. That was their first match though, wasn't it?
They had the match to qualify for the title shot, and they had a squash the next week to establish them, and then their third match together was the title match in
Oh,
which
okay,
Doyle
so
got injured.
it was their, but that was a four-way title match, wasn't it? Like a
It was a
three-way.
four-way. It was the number one contendership was the four-way.
Oh, okay,
They
yeah.
beat the Young Bucks and two other teams that I can't think of off the top of my head
I can't
now.
remember who the other teams were. Yeah,
The Rascals hadn't signed yet. It wasn't
no,
them. Um, I don't remember.
yeah. See, I have the hot
Uh,
takes. Adam has the memory. That's how this works.
such as it
Uh,
is anymore.
but
But
so yeah, Eric Rowan and Brody King would make a really cool Bruiser face tag team. Since we have a Bruiser heel tag team, we're just waiting
yeah,
on Doyle to heel.
and I think
Um,
Eric would have immediate sympathy given
yeah,
how this company loved and continues to respect the legacy of Mr. Brody Lee.
yeah, that too,
I
that too.
I think that yeah, you could do something there.
And
Alba
then
Fire, you should pick up Alba Fire
I mean,
probably.
they have
They have
her
Isla
old,
Dawn.
yeah, they have Isla. So I mean, Alba would be good for a tag team. That I mean, that would make a great tag team. But Zoe Stark has Death Rider written all over her. That could be Marina's new tag team part.
I don't know much about her except that she looks like she's carved out of granite.
She
Like
wrestles like it too,
she's another
man.
muscle mommy, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. She so like so basically she crosses over into two zones that are super well covered in WWE already, and it kind of phases her out. Well, also because like she was in Shayna's stable, and I think both Shayna and Sonya are both gone now.
yeah.
So it's like, or Shayna's like a producer now, I think, and
I I
Sonya's
think
gone
Shane is a
though.
producer and Sonya signed a short term deal with TNA.
Yeah. So her faction, I mean, she didn't have anything going creatively, and the two zones that she's in, Muscle Mommy, which is Rhea's zone. We all know that's Rhea's zone.
And now Jordan Grace
And
too.
now Jordan Grace. Yeah. And then
And Jade Cargill for that matter.
yeah. But then also um small package person, like the girl, I can't remember her name, but the little blonde lady from American Alpha and her kind of crossover in this way. And there's usually only room for one of those like really small stature women. Like I think she's probably even shorter than
Maxine
Marina.
Dupree?
No,
No?
no, that's Alpha Academy, and then they changed it to something else. But
Oh.
it's the Chad Gable stable. The I can't remember the little pitbull lady's name. Um, I can't remember her name now, but they kind of cross over in the same way, in that way, like the kind of small package built female enforcer, basically.
Mm,
But
yeah.
if you took her to AEW, she fits in standing next to Marina Shafir as a tag team, no
Yeah.
problem. You know, like
Yeah, give her a proper tag team partner as opposed to Megan Bain, who was always just going to be a temporary thing.
mm,
She was a temporary fix for when Penelope went down anyway. So,
yeah, and now they're the tag team champions, and I wonder where that puts Penelope at her return.
yeah.
Is a concern for me. Of course. Um, I the rest of the people on the list, like, I mean, I don't wish them ill in any way.
Ivy Nile is who you were thinking of.
Ivy Nile, yes, Ivy Nile. But yeah, the rest of them, I don't wish them ill in any way. There are a couple of releases that happened on April 18th and 19th, like after, like the day after WrestleMania, but it was all celebrities. Like apparently, ISHO Speed and his part-time contract was terminated on April 19th. Jelly Roll's part-time contract was terminated on April 18th. And Pat McAfee, who stated publicly that he is never returning to the wrestling business, praised the Lord. April
Yeah.
19th, his contract was terminated. That is not really a release so much. I think he just quit because he cited the fans' negative reaction to his return, which thank you all for sitting on this train that I have been conducting. Because I hate that guy. I really despise that guy. And even more so that when we were covering WWE, he was one of the voices of Raw, and it was just Yeah, he made the show worse, man. He made the
Yeah,
show. It was really hard to remain positive having listened to him for 3 hours a week. It really was. So good riddance to bad rubbish. Everybody else on the list, including the other celebrities, even if I don't agree with them as people, I wish them the best. I hope
yeah,
they, if they, I hope if they wish to continue doing things in wrestling that they do, because by all reports, ISO Speed was very good in the ring for being like, yeah, I mean, first and foremost,
yeah.
he's one of the
From
few celebrities ever that had his own gear made. He had gear
yeah,
made, and he actually
yeah.
wore gear. Like,
He
okay,
put the work in.
yeah, he put the work in. So good on him. But everybody else on the list, if I didn't say you should go to AEW, that's not me saying you shouldn't wrestle. Go to New Japan, go to CMLL, go to AAA, go to TNA, go to MLP, go to wherever, go hang out at Triple L so I can watch you locally.
Yeah,
Go to Metroplex so I can catch you locally. Like I know that's like a 6 hour drive either way for me, folks, but I that's local wrestling to me.
yeah.
Um,
When you
like
live in a state that big, that's local.
yeah. No one else measures by hours. Okay, like a day trip for me is driving across multiple states for most of y'all.
Yeah,
So unless you live in Alaska or California, maybe you don't really measure distance in hours instead of miles. Um, but yeah, I don't like they
yeah,
there's right now a bunch of viable places for wrestlers to go. Will they make
yeah,
the same amount of money? Maybe, maybe not. But there's ways to capitalize and ways to, set yourself up to for a lengthy indie run. And one of them is by taking all the bookings you can take right now on your WWE name and selling all the merch you can sell. And once
yeah,
that's tapped out, you could still get bookings and you might make less money, but you could have set yourself up right now for a lengthy stay on the indies if necessary. However, there's a place for all of these people somewhere.
yeah,
Somewhere contracted, somewhere making steady, guaranteed money, somewhere in
yeah.
this new wrestling industry where that's normal,
Hmm.
So which is crazy because I grew up in the territories area where the guaranteed money was never a thing until WCW, until Ted Turner started giving people guaranteed money.
Yeah. And even then, you only lived in the dying days of the
Yeah.
of the territories, really.
Mhm.
I mean, and I lived through those days too, but I was so young I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. But I mean, being in the business, you hear like, I mean, I was grateful to be in the business with some people that were way deep in it. That, in Dennis's case, like, had been in the business since the 60s or something like that.
Mm.
So like, I got to hear about oh man, you get paid every week. That's crazy, man. Like, and even when I first started, when it was like, okay, you're gonna work security this week, we're gonna pay you $10 for the whole show, and I'm like, okay, but I'm also training at the school and doing other things, so like, you're gonna do a
Yeah.
security, we're gonna pay you $10, and I would tell people like Dennis, like, oh yeah, man, I work security, so I made $10, and they'd be like, holy shit. That's like 4 times what you made for security back in my day. And then sometimes you didn't even get paid, man. Like sometimes you just got a hot dog and a handshake. And yeah, so like it's different now. The business is different. If you want to,
Yeah.
I mean, people like Danhausen and other people like that are proof that you can like make a really good, like Matt Cardona and people like that. You can do a really good life on the indies.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're a NWA contracted wrestler, you basically are living life on the indies
Yeah.
nowadays because of the way their farm system works. So I mean, you pick a place, go to it, get to, if you want to still do this, do it. And I don't wish ill on any of the people that I don't want to see in AEW or won't end up there because I mean, let's be honest, like we actually don't know.
No, we
We
don't.
could have said right now that like, oh, this person probably won't, but they could show up on Dynamite on Wednesday if they don't have a no compete clause, which
Yeah.
all of the names we mentioned that should be picked up probably have at least a 90-day.
I think so. I don't think any of those were contracts that ran out.
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
that they were contracts that were terminated.
Yeah.
So I think most of those probably have not. the main roster ones would probably have 90, and the NXT and LFG contracts would and Evolve contracts would probably have 30.
Maybe. Yeah. ID might not have one at all, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, the main roster was like Kyrie and people like that. Like they definitely have at least a 90,
yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
But
Um,
but yeah.
the only other person that I think that I would selfishly like to see in AEW, simply because like he was a mainstay of my local indie. I'd like to see Joe Gacy get a job with Tony. Like personally, I thought he was, you know, anytime he came through for Excite Wrestling, you know, he was a champ there for a while. He, you know, he always busted his butt every single time. Uh, he was. I always likened him to like a slightly more unhinged and slightly more acrobatic, and definitely more deathmatch oriented Kevin Owens. Like
Okay.
he was, and he was like our guy. You know, it was great when we heard that he got the call up to NXT. So
Hmm.
I'd like to see him get a job too, personally. If but I know that you know he's not like the biggest name on this list or whatever, or
Yeah.
the people who have such a reputation that, oh, you need to get this guy or this girl or
Yeah.
this, etc. But I don't know. I'd like personally, I'd like it if Joe Gacy got a job in AEW too. Personally,
Yeah. But yeah, that's our list for that. And speaking of AEW, we're gonna roll right into Dynamite.
yeah.
But I think before we do that, maybe we, I mean, we have kind of multiple this week, so maybe we check in with Ship Libnan.
Okay, all right. Let me pull it up. Yeah, there were. Oh man, things were. I think it was probably because of the post WrestleMania, you know, the talks. You know, it's literally the biggest wrestling weekend of the year. Don't take it personally, AEW fans. We're here to cater to you, but let's be real here. WWE is a much bigger company. It has a bigger footprint. It WrestleMania is always going to be bigger than All In until TKO eventually sells it to the Saudis, and then they run it into the ground and make it so that nobody can go, you know, because nobody wants to travel to Saudi Arabia.
I think that
Like,
flip is coming quicker than we think, man, because
I
the,
think
the
so
the
too, with
internet
all
was
the
not having this shit, man. Like they were
no.
not.
And then you have folks like it wasn't it was Mark Shapiro who are
Mhm.
like, yeah, we hear all the backlash and we don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like, oh, you
yeah,
don't? Okay, if you don't
the
care, well,
the gist
there's the
of it
guy who
was
does care, guys. You know,
the
like,
gist of his interview was, yeah, we hear all the the negative chatter about it. Yeah, we don't care what you think. We're gonna just charge as much money as we can, and we're gonna make more money to spite you.
yeah,
So deal with it. That's the way of the world. That was the gist of that interview.
yeah,
Like, these people are just the worst. The worst. Uh, but yeah, I think that if you take away the all of the backstage reasons connected to Vince McMahon and the Ring Boy scandal and the Janelle Grant stuff, take away all of that stuff. If you were just a fan of the brand and have been, like, so many people grew up with it, they're brand loyal, they're this, that, the other thing. Okay, I understand that. You got to be looking at this and be like, wow, this is not the company that I grew up with.
not even close. Not even close.
And like, this is not even enjoyable at
Yeah,
this point
no,
to a degree that's been very, very noticeable
yeah,
for a while now.
yeah.
It cooled off from 2024, and it by all accounts has bottomed out creatively. Um, you're hearing a lot of people, and you see even like the most ardent WWE fans, you can tell by the way that they're reacting online to stuff, even when they're defending the company. It's like they're on the edge of a cliff and they're hanging on by their fingernails.
Yeah.
It's like they're desperately trying to grasp at anything to justify their continued loyalty. And I understand that. I'm not one of these people who is going to deride people for that. I get it. It's a powerful it's like a cult like atmosphere.
Yeah.
It is a powerful influence. You don't want to it's cost sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yeah.
You spent your, decades of fandom in this. You don't want to be wrong about it
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
then that means you'll in your mind, at least in the moment before you balance out, okay, there were still good memories there and I cherish it, blah blah blah. In your mind in that moment you think, well, that was all for nothing. I wasted all that time.
Yep.
It's why a lot of people, can't leave, can't leave their cults. They don't want to. They would rather be miserable in the state that they're in and still think that they're in the right place than come to terms with the fact that no, they're not in the right place and they have harmed themselves and possibly others.
Yep. Well, speaking of people who are miserable, let's check in with Ship.
Yeah. So there were a lot of people, like I said, coming off coming off this weekend. Um, in relation in reply to sth O'Leary.bsky.social, uh, who is a big AEW fan. I follow him on Blue Sky. His post was, tonight my mission is turn Blue Sky into a pro wrestling site. Not sure if it'll work. Something called AEW Dynamite airs today. Should be a good show. That was a satirical post in relation to something that took place over the weekend where a big WWE fan who happens to be, I believe, a sports reporter, posted something really ignorant and be like, let's turn Blue Sky into a pro wrestling site for this weekend. It's like, bro, where you been?
Yeah, where you been? It kind of is one already.
But in response to this, somebody named Tommy O'Malley, Tommy the Pirate.bsky.social, better yet, help Crump build his octagon.
Look, you
Lordy.
prick. Oh, look, you fucking prick. Look, here we go because you motherfucker. First of all, the company with the fuck ice chance is not the one to be pinning this shit on. Okay, first of all, or let's just get that right out of the way. Like the massive majority of the AEW fan base is blue, and the owner obviously is himself. He lets his
Well, at least
wrestlers
as
wear
much as a
abolish ice
billionaire can
t-shirts and
be.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as a billionaire can be. And we have fuck ice chants at like every US show, every time Brody King appears. Like you can't tell me that
And Don
we're
Callis.
yeah, that we're helping him build his octagon. And second of all, what the fuck? Like if you're gonna be satirical or fucking sarcastic, at least get shit correct. The best satire has correctness in it, and nobody's Trump isn't building a fucking octagon. He's trying to build a ballroom, and
I
let's
think
not get
he's
into that because I
referring
don't have enough time.
I think he's referring to the fact that there's going to be a UFC event on the White House lawn for July 4th.
Which is ridiculous. That's
It is.
fucking ridiculous. Um, I smell a false flag from a mile away, but we don't really have time to get into that. But Ship, listen, bud, Timmy the pirate, listen, bud. When you shout at people like this on Blue Sky, you're shouting into the fucking void. That's all you're doing. Or you're yelling from the pulpit at the choir behind you. Like if you're an anti-Trump guy, hey, so are we, dude. Pick a different battle. For fuck's sake. Touch some grass or something. Like quit don't shit on somebody's enjoyment, especially if the joke went over your fucking head. Like somebody please go respond to this man and post the fucking Simpsons gift. That's the joke. Like just
Yeah.
fucking like okay. So anyway, that's ship number one taken care of, and we'll get to the rest later. We have plenty of breaks in between stuff for us to needle it motherfuckers that deserve it. Then this is how we remain positive about everything else. There's people that really deserve to be needled at who have nothing to do with the wrestling business in general, and this is how we remain positive. At least me, anyway. Adam doesn't have a problem with that.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
But anyway, we're gonna roll into Dynamite now, and let's get after it. All right, so here we go with Dynamite. This week from Portland, Oregon.
Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah, nice large venue. Seemed like.
Yep. And Portland, historically a great wrestling city. They had a really, really, really strong territory there for decades. So there's a nice history in Portland. And boy, howdy, were they active all night. It showed that they were a wrestling city.
yeah, they were really
very
active.
into things.
We kick off with MJF's music, and he comes down to the ring. Of course, he's pissed off. He's been railing on social media all week about his loss, and how it needs to be
completely crashing out.
Yeah, he even tagged the FBI at one point. But yeah, so he comes down. He's calling last week's events the Seattle screw job. And he ran down, everything from beating Kenny to, guaranteeing Hangman would never touch the title again, and kicking out of the One Wing Angel, and that he doesn't care about anybody, and he demands that Darby hands over his AEW World Championship. But that brings out Kevin Knight.
Yeah, this was interesting. First of all, the first interesting thing I think I want to point out is that MJF was in his gear. He was ready to go. Like, he was, unlike the previous week where he was arriving and he was in his suit and the whole deal. Like, they're really reinforcing this. When he's ready to go, he's ready to go. But he has to be ready to go. Like, in order to be effective.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be. So yeah, he was in his complete gear, like with a towel and the jacket and everything. But yeah, then they keep doing this thing where it's like, what is the hierarchy with the mid-card title belts? Like, why is the TNT champion, who is probably like third, I mean, it's probably above the national title, but it's definitely below the international and continental titles.
Yeah.
Like, why is this guy the one whoever's holding it, stepping up to the guy who was just off the heels of losing the world title?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the hierarchy is supposed to be at this stage because of this happening all the time. Yeah, like Kyle Fletcher was talking about being the world champion when he was TNT champion too. And
and the year before that, the first title shot to Danielson after he won the belt was to TNT champion Jack Perry. Yeah. So like, it's very confusing in that respect. That said, the Jet has been pushed really, really effectively.
Yeah, it's very clear that
they're strapping a rocket to the Jet, which by cartoon logic means that he's going even faster than ever. But yeah, like he brought up the fact that he had in their prior match during MJF's title reign, he had MJF dead to rights in the middle of the ring for like a forever count, but the referee
Yeah,
was knocked down. And that, as far
true.
as he's concerned, that essentially makes them even. And that, maybe it should be him since he actually won a title and hasn't lost in a singles match in a while, whereas MJF just lost the title, that maybe he should be next in line. And then he goes on and talking about how the TNT title belt has had a really good lineage of a lot of really successful sometimes these WWE habits are hard to break. Really successful title holders, and he's not surprised that MJF isn't among them.
Yeah, that was ooh,
Which was a pretty sick burn,
yeah, that was
honestly.
gnarly.
But it was the thing that made MJF want to take it from him.
Yeah.
So that sets up, it looks like they're going to go right now. Bryce Remsburg comes out, he gets off his gear. It looks like he's ready to go. And then they got right up to the point. Like, they went so far with this that you really, really thought that it was happening right there.
As soon as Bryce held that belt up, I was like, well, they didn't bring him out to do that for no reason.
He was about to ring that bell.
Yeah.
And as soon as he's about to ring that bell, that's when Max bails. And he's like, I'll see you next week. And that just plays into this character trait that they've been going on for the last, for this entire run this year with him, is that he refuses to be caught unawares and he needs preparation.
Yeah.
Like, and Kevin alluded to it in his promo that it's like, when you're a champion, you should be, inviting all comers and be ready for anything.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got two different ideologies kind of battling against each other here.
Yeah.
Basically, MJF is Batman. If he has enough prep time, your ass is going down.
Yes, so.
But yeah, I because they're going along that line, I kind of, and because of something else that happens later in, I'm kind of worried that they're actually going to move the TNT title to Max.
I thought that
does
too.
Not need it.
No.
He does not need it.
No. So yeah, Max leaves. He tells we can dance with the devil next week, kid. And then we go backstage to Renee Paquette with the Demand and Jericho to announce that
no physicality.
No physicality, but that the Demand is going to take on Jericho and two partners on Collision. And Jericho, Ricochet mentions the guy who gets his ass beat by the Demand thing, and Jericho has not only trademarked it but had a T-shirt made, and while explaining that, does more of this like second line promo stuff that he's doing, which I love. I love this.
Kevin Nealon's Subliminal Man from SNL when he was on the Weekend Update.
I love it.
It's like it's the exact same thing. And as a big fan of that character, it's speaking to me personally as a fan. And not only that, this was a Jericho segment that lasted like 2 minutes. Didn't take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's very different than the Jericho we had become accustomed to leading up to his hiatus. This is a good sign. Mm-hmm. He's being used sparingly. It's a far more focused direction. I think that, and you can tell that people are getting behind him.
Yeah. Because
he's not all over TV dominating everything. Like I think he's starting to prove some doubters wrong, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah, he doesn't have to take a lot of time. He's being really funny. The stuff he's doing is interesting. And I mean, he explains to Ricochet here, like, I don't have to find people that like me. I just have to find people that don't like you, which there are lots of in AEW. Like, I didn't know who it was going to be. And when I figured out who it was, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they really don't like him. Cool.
In fact, that made the most sense of pretty much anybody. Yeah, they would later go on to announce that it would be Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley of the returning Hurt Syndicate. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah. After that, we have what is currently the ongoing Deadeye versus Sniper feud, our marksman's war here. Between
Oh come,
I
okay.
who dramatically do not like this, and Adam who does like this.
Let's clear the air here. Okay, Sniper versus Deadeye was a. It started out as a blood feud over disrespect. This is not that. Okay, this is a difference of opinion. This is
Okay.
not you spitting in my face.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Okay, let's
That's
not
true.
oversell
Okay. So
this.
yeah, I'm not as big of an asshole as that guy was. You know, you turned up to 11, right?
Yeah, right. And we were both 20 years younger. Let's be real
That's
here.
true. That's
We
true.
were both far more obnoxious than we are now.
That's true. But yeah, so we've got, and what I mean by this is that I don't like Leo Rush that much, and Adam does like Leo Rush. So, it's this particular character. Now, before we get into the match, which was good, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
hate on the match. It was good.
a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
It was, yeah, and I like the result of it too. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But our buddy Mike from AEW Rankings posted that because I posted on this thing about this on Dynamite Day, and I was like, hey, like I don't I don't really like it. I don't. It's not for me. I don't. It's not that other people can't like it. Anybody else, you can like it if you want, but it's just I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I just don't like it. Like, and he said something that kind of I really do agree with, which is that, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not gonna take time to pull it up real quick, but he said something to the effect of, the character's interesting, but it's pretty much
He
run its course.
says
Okay,
he
you
says the
got it.
gimmick is weird. It's not bad. It's the most intrigued and interested I've been in him ever. I need more than just him acting like Gollum. It's been fine for a week or two, but without at least a cryptic promo or something for me to go on, I'm over it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is for me. Like, I don't have anything to go on with this character other than he acts really fucking weird, and there have been weird acting people that did it better already. Like, and he's not really bringing anything new to the out of their mind person, except for the way he is in the ring, which is a complete departure from most of those angles. But
Because nobody can move their body like
yeah,
Leo
nobody
Rush
does
can.
that. Yeah, like you're not seeing Mick Foley as Mankind galloping. Um, but it's like it's just
It's there.
it's there, and
It's there.
yeah,
I think the key is to actually listen to what he says when he's talking to himself. He mentions it's not his house anymore. Whose house?
okay. So
I think he's the herald of Swerve Strickland.
okay,
I think that Swerve, because remember, Swerve disappeared after Kenny Omega beat him. We haven't seen him in like a month,
yeah,
like 4 or 5 weeks now. And it was at Dynasty, the last pay per view, where Leo Rush started committing to this gimmick in earnest. It's when he was in that battle royal for the national title.
yeah,
Who's to say? And this is just me throwing out a hypothesis. Who's to say that in that time, in his loss to Kenny Omega, in his quest for power, that Swerve didn't take some time, refocus, and do something that he's known for doing, and kidnapping somebody, and torturing them, and breaking them, and using them as his herald. I think Swerve Strickland is about to return with a whole new level of evil. And he is going to have Leo Rush as his private little like attack gremlin.
Well, if that
And
comes to be,
honestly,
that would be a
I'm
better
kind of
name
all
for this.
for it because let's be real here. As much as you don't like this gimmick and this presentation from Leo Rush, he's still miles better than Trench.
That's true. That's fair.
So
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I mean,
I think that this is the beginning of him building another faction of just basically people that he's twisted and mangled psychologically, and he has just a whole bunch of like, it's like a new twist on the cult thing. It's like, and except that people, instead of people who are devoted to him because of the force of his personality, it's because he kidnapped them and broke them mentally, and now they have like, you know like a weird twisted Stockholm syndrome thing going on.
yeah. But yeah, but
I think the key is to listen to the seeming nonsense of the things that come out of his mouth.
hmm,
I could be wrong, but I kind of hope I'm right because that's something that I would really like to see, actually. Because we've seen Evil Swerve before, but we've not seen, you know, basically Apocalypse
yeah,
before from him.
true.
I mean,
Um,
he's stated that what his quest is for is power now.
yeah,
That's what he wants. It's not just the belt, it's power. And if he's the one who's responsible for this, man, the power that he has over this human being,
yeah. But yeah, Brody wins. I mean, I didn't think Brody was gonna lose, but
I didn't think
I
it
just,
takes so long though.
no, yeah, I didn't think it takes so long. And then promptly grabs the mic and challenges for the world championship against,
Yeah.
who, like, I basically telling whoever wins I got winner. You
Yep.
know, so yeah, so we're likely gonna see that. Which they've already announced that this week on Dynamite there will be Brody King versus Darby. So
Yeah.
um, after that we go backstage and we've got Renee Paquette with Champa, and he kind of goes on this tirade about I've been told what I'm not my entire career, but what I am is a husband, a father, a son, a brother. He's really leaning on the
Yeah.
family thing this
Yeah.
time.
This was a babyface promo.
Yeah,
This was not a heel promo. This was a babyface promo.
yeah,
This was a promo tinged with reality from a man who was put in what you have to consider probably the biggest opportunity of his career, and wanting to make the most of it, both from a character standpoint and from an in-ring aspect.
yeah,
This is a guy with something to prove, and boy, would he prove it later on.
yeah,
I don't know. I think maybe coming off that performance too, that maybe they turn him back babyface.
maybe. I think they
But
probably
we'll
are.
get
I
there.
mean,
We'll get there.
he might just be like Moggs, where we heal him when we need to and babyface him when we need to. Because
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. Um, After that, we got Cope backstage, and he basically, talks about their loss and how it's debatable that FTR is the greatest tag team of all time, becoming increasingly less so.
Yeah.
But he wants to have a New York street fight with them at Double or Nothing, and to entice them, he puts up their tag team career.
Yeah. Nevermore will you ever see Cope and Christian together as a tag team.
Hmm.
Which I mean, despite them going the other way with Hanger, I think this almost guarantees that Cope and Christian win.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the Hanger that was the anomaly. That's the outlier. The outlier to
Yeah.
make us think that this could have any other outcome than the baby faces going over.
Yeah.
I still believe the end game is them defending an All In a ladder match with at least the Young Bucks, if not Young Bucks and FTR. I think that's endgame.
Yeah. After that, we've got Shida versus Shirakawa.
This was good.
This was a really good match, man. Yeah, I thought it was really
It
good.
was a little slow at the beginning, but that last third especially really picked up.
Yeah, they
Loved
picked it up hard. Especially, oh man, Sheeta's flying knee is just out of this world, isn't it, man?
Got a
Especially
huge,
they got
pop for it too.
they got a perfect angle that first one, man. Like it switched to that wide shot right as they both hit the ropes. It's like, oh, this is good. Whatever's about to happen, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
like it looks so good.
You know why it was so perfect? It was not so many people can make this work because of just how physics works and how bodies are shaped. But I think because she had hit her high enough, got enough height with that knee, it allowed me to do it. She was still going forward as she bottomed out.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who take that, they'll like swerve off to, spin off to the side.
Yeah.
She kept going forward, but she let her legs out from underneath it. So she was, she went almost all the way to the ropes with it after getting hit with that. So it really did look like she was hit in the face and that she was hit hard because her body kept going.
Yeah, dude, it was so good though, man. And
it was that.
It
was clean. That was real clean.
Oh, we got two more over the course of the match. I mean, Shirakawa, Mina's always great. She's like just acrobatic as all hell.
She's a tough girl. She's tough. Lady.
Yeah.
She's a tough woman.
Like I think like Tony needs I know that like we're kind of in a different women's division era of AEW than we were when the previous all those bloody street fights were happening. But I don't think that this crop is adverse to those situations either. So maybe we should continue that wonderful tradition of showing how tough the women actually are. We need more of that. Tony's really the only one that was doing it, so I need.
Statlander and Tekla with that strap match, though.
Oh yeah, that was. But I mean, we still need more of that. I mean, that strap match.
I want more.
Strap matches always make me cringe because you can't fake it.
No, there's no way to gimmick that.
You just have to beat the shit out of each other with a leather strap, and that shit hurts. And if you got somebody even if you're lightly swinging, you have to swing enough to make it look real. And even if you're doing that, it still hurts. But no, we're going for sound effects, baby. So they're swinging hard as fuck. You know that shit hurts, man. And I know it hurts because I've been involved in a lumberjack strap match where the lumberjacks all have belts. And because of how much of a heel the heel in the match was, they even brought out all the extra referees, including me, and gave us belts too. And they're if that guy comes out of the ring, because he had hit most of us or laid most of us out at one point or another, in this run, and he was such a heel. So they're if he comes out, hit him. And I know how hard I was hitting that motherfucker. So
that's how you make a lumberjack actually interesting.
Here's some backstage. I asked a guy. I was like, a guy that I know. I'm not going to name him because I don't want to say, he gave me a secret that I'm now giving away because it's not really a secret. I asked him, what do I do? How do I gimmick this? And he was like, you don't, bro. Just hit the fuck out of them. He's like, we're all going to hit the fuck. If they get out of that ring, they're getting the shit beat out of them, bro. It's happening. And I'm like, is it like that everywhere? He's like, yes, that's how it works. And I'm okay, cool. So it's not really a secret that when you use a strap in wrestling, you really get hit. But fuck, if there you go, here's confirmation that yes, there is no way to gimmick that. No, they don't hit them limp wristed or anything like that. You go for broke basically. And
I think the most you can do to gimmick it is just kind of wad the strap up in your hand so that it's several layers. Because they all kind of buffer each other and kind of distribute the force between all of the layers of leather.
Yeah.
And they don't distribute it all onto the skin that way. But even then, people that doesn't make that that dampens the sound,
Yeah.
which is what you
It's not
don't
what you
want.
want. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
It's the
you
cookie
can't get
sheet
away with that
principle.
all that often.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the cookie sheet principle. You can't soften the cookie sheet by bending it up first because you want the sound that it makes when it
Yep.
bends.
Yep.
So yeah, but anyway, back to Shida and Shirakawa. Like they're it was a really good match. I thought it was really
Yeah.
enjoyable. So what
I like the
happens though?
finish too.
Yeah, so what happens is Shirakawa knocks Shida down, and it looks as though Shida is like. So I had to go back and rewatch this to make sure I had it right. But what is
Mhm.
happening is it looks like Shida is crawling to her kendo stick. Now, is that what she's doing? We don't know. She didn't actually get a hand on it. Shida did not introduce the kendo stick to this match,
Nope.
which is a fact that knowing the AEW and the way they run their lore, this is something that can be touched on in the future. So they can be like, I don't trust her, but she can go like, go back and look at the tape. Like, you introduced the kendo stick to the match, and subsequently you tried to hit me with it, and subsequently my tag team partner took it from you, which
And it's
distracted
not my
you.
fact that you had your back turned while justice was being meted out.
Yeah, exactly. So
Gives her
Statlander
plausible
takes it.
deniability.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
Statlander
why I
takes the
liked it so
kendo
much.
stick,
Yeah.
and Shirakawa turns around right into another one of these flying knees, and then gets
Yeah.
she was it the Falcon Arrow? Did she actually beat her with
Falcon
the
Arrow.
Falcon
I'm
Arrow?
pretty
Yeah.
sure it was
So
the Falcon Arrow. Yeah.
so Falcon Arrow and 1, 2, 3, and Shirakawa obviously is livid,
Yeah.
and Statlander is still very much kind
On
of
the
I don't know what
fence.
to do here, and we're going to talk a lot more about this later because there is like another section where Statlander's feelings are really going to come into play, and it's how they're playing it. I don't know. We'll talk about that more later. Uh, After that, we've got a preview of Okada and Takeshita at Double or Nothing,
Oh,
which
I'm so
all
excited for this.
every time I
Oh.
see this video package, I'm like that lucky son bitch. But
This is the match on the card, at least the one that's been uh, announced so far, that I am most excited for.
yeah,
We've been waiting for this for like a year now.
yeah.
Like it's time. It's time to crown Kazuchika Okada the international champion again.
Yeah.
For him to beat Okada, or for Konosuke Takeshita to beat Kazuchika Okada for the title, for him to revenge the loss, the crooked loss in the C2, and for Okada to go on to do other things.
Mm. So,
in fact, here's an idea that we haven't even discussed because he's already the international champion. What if it's Okada that beats Darby?
I mean,
And he's the one who defends it against Ospreay at All In.
that would be wild. But that would also set up
That's
Death
not
Riders
anything
versus,
that I've heard anybody else talk about.
That would be a culmination of Death Riders versus Don Callis family also. Because if Will joins the Death Riders, which we're going to talk about that, but so reminder to the folks listening, May 24th, the day of Double or Nothing, we will not be recording a show, so there will not be a show that week. We are coming back the following week after Double or Nothing. We're going to talk about Double or Nothing. We're going to talk about the week's wrestling. We're going to get Adam, the call it in the ring that week, we'll go ahead and say now, is going to be Adam talking about his live experience at Double or Nothing. After that, we're going to take our summer break for a few weeks, probably until Forbidden Door, at least. So we'll be back in pretty quickly, but we're going to take our summer break, get our vacations and stuff in and all that stuff that we do while we're not doing this. So yeah, after the Okada and Takeshita thing, where I get to sit and be envious of you the whole time it's playing.
Don't text me except between matches.
Right. And
I don't want to miss anything.
And so after that, they announced that there's a 10-man tag set for Collision, where the Young Bucks and the Rascals will be taking on the Death Riders and the Young Bucks, which
Death Riders and the Dogs, you mean?
I'm sorry, the Death Riders and the Dogs. Yeah, and that was like, okay, okay, the Death Riders are on the heel side, and then this next thing happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what side are they on exactly? Because I don't
This
know.
match
Apparently,
was probably the biggest surprise on this show.
I, okay. So I was not surprised at the match because they beat each other up like only real friends
Friends
can
can.
beat each other
Yep.
up. Dude,
Yep.
they really did. Like
Oh my! They just
this
beat
is
the
what happens.
tar out of each other.
This is what happens when people who love each other in the wrestling business get to wrestle. This is what
Yep.
happens. They just do everything they can to make it look as gnarly and brutal as possible because they can take a few liberties with one another. They know. They know
Mhm.
each other well enough to take some liberties and know which ones are stepping over the bounds and which ones ain't. And with guys like Mark Davis and Will Ospreay, probably not a lot of ain'ts in there.
Yeah. Moreover, too, they both have a vested interest more than usual to make the other guy look amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So they had a really great match. But Ospreay, I mean, Davis did his best to injure Ospreay's neck and head. That's pretty much
Yep.
everything
There were
he was
3
doing.
backdrop drivers in a row.
Yeah.
The finish comes when he hits the gut wrench pile driver on the apron,
Yeah, that
the
was
ring apron.
gnarly, man.
Second hardest part of the ring. And then Doc Samson comes in, the referee comes in, and they stop the match. I thought this was going to be a repeat of the previous week where it's just like, I thought they were going to do rule of threes with it. Like that I didn't think it was going to be this match where they did that. I thought they were going to be, it was going to be the third match, whatever that was going to be. But no, they did it here. Mark Davis, biggest win of his AEW career.
Yeah.
Beating Will Ospreay by doctor stoppage.
Yeah.
And then he goes to pick the bones at Don Callis' insistence, looks to do the gut wrench pile driver inside the ring a final time, and probably just straight up murder him. And then Marina Shafir appears on the apron.
Yeah.
And then Mox appears.
Yeah.
And then all the other Death Riders appear. And
yeah, they surround him.
They do the Nexus circling around the ring deal. And Mark Davis was so good here. He just places him down on the mat as softly as possible. And he just kind of politely leaves the ring.
Yeah, he's like, hey,
he doesn't even like put his hands up. He's just like, I can see the writing on the wall here. I'm going to leave. Like,
yep.
The only nitpick I have with this is we're supposed to believe that there aren't a whole bunch of other Don Callis guys out here that couldn't have evened things up.
Well, so here's where we covered that because Don Callis was outside the ring telling Mark Davis, put him down and get out of the ring and let's get out of here. So the boss was not calling for reinforcements. The boss was saying, we need to leave. So any of his boys who were observing were like, you know what? He is leaving and that's what he wants to do. So we're not going to go out there and interfere in this.
Maybe it's that they were there, but because
nobody actually
they were
touched him.
So close to Callis, and then he knew that the rest of his boys couldn't get there in time to protect him.
Marina would have caught Don before they got to Don.
Exactly.
And that's a threat enough to stay the fuck out of it.
Maybe that was implied and I just didn't pick it up.
I mean, maybe it is, but yeah, what I saw, his boss is like, hey, we're not. And I mean, yeah. I mean, they weren't going to save Don, but they didn't touch him either. So there was no reason to defend him because nobody touched him. They just thought, it was very much a warning. Like, you need to put him down or we're going to fuck you up.
And then
this part, I don't
put him on. Yeah.
So they abducted him.
Yeah, they put him on Claudio's shoulders and they just abscond with him.
Yeah, like they pulled him out of the ring and they had like Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta underneath his arms. It's like, okay, cool. And then they get to the ring wall. It's like, what are you idiots gonna do now? And then suddenly suddenly he's just on Claudio's shoulders and Claudio's fucking gone. Like he is
Yeah,
all like he carried that man faster than any person should be able to carry 250 pounds. Like it was
because
so
he's
fast
Claudio.
because he's Claudio, of course. But yeah, so I mean, they just abscond with him, and he's
Yeah,
gone. And even Excalibur's like, so they're abducting Will Ospreay. Uh, it, is anybody gonna do anything?
yeah.
Like
I guess we'll find out later.
yeah, I guess we'll find out
Uh,
later, and we get a little bit of insight into it later. But I
on
we'll
Collision, yeah.
yeah, we'll talk more about that on our collision run. But we still got quite a bit of dynamite to go. All right, so next up we got Alex Windsor backstage with Renee Paquette, and they're saying that Jamie Hayter is still not medically cleared from Dynasty, although I haven't seen a report on what happened to her exactly. Other than losing to Tekla. Maybe I guess did Tekla use the brass knuckles on Hayter?
No, she grabbed the rope.
Oh
She
yeah.
looked to use the brass knucks, but it was Hater cut her off at the pass. The finish came when she held the ropes in the corner while pinning her.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what happened to Hayter that would have kept her from being medically cleared.
Yeah, I
But
don't know either, but they did beat the brakes off each other in that match. So
yeah. But Windsor promised to pick apart the triangle, and she said, basically was hinting that she needed a partner, and Persephone enters the screen. And I
the
guess
more I
Persephone,
see of Persephone, the more impressed I am with her.
he's great.
She's great.
Yeah.
Really, really great. Like
Yeah.
both on the mic and in the ring. Like I can see why CMLL made that her their champion.
Yeah.
100%.
After that, we've got our a surprise return, Samoa Joe. In
Yeah, he was announced as cleared like maybe an hour before the show went on the air on social media. Tony's like, "Hey, guess what? Samoa Joe's back."
yeah, and do you hear that sound?
Yeah, it sounds like a distant cawing. Like,
Yeah. Yes. Way
oh, that
off
must
there.
be our giant condor of the week, Cody
Yes, it is.
Chun.
Yeah, poor Cody Chun just got the shit beat out of him.
He got that.
He got it.
He got at. This is exactly the same as every Samoa Joe squash match, and it's great every time.
Yeah.
Like, he hits the jabs, he sells one move, the guy gets in the corner and misses to the nope spot, gets him in the muscle buster, boom, 1, 2, 3. Like
Yeah.
easy as you please.
There's a formula,
So
but we
glad
love
to have
it.
Samoa Joe back.
Yeah. There's a
Love
formula,
that dude.
but it's like Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. We love it.
Works every time.
Yep. So after that, we got a
It's like Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works
works
every
every
time.
time.
And that doesn't make sense.
After that, we got a little video package of Darby Allin's journey to the top.
Really, really good
Yeah, I like
video
this one.
package with Sammy Davis Jr. crooning in the background there.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I was like, it doesn't fit, and then it weirdly did. I was like, all right.
Usually
fair.
Tony's music choices are pretty on point.
Yeah.
I think he's almost as into music as he is into wrestling. Because his taste is eclectic, but
Yeah.
everything seems to fit.
Right.
It seems to be like another one of his hyperfixations, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was an incredible video package. Just doing everything we know this title reign isn't going to be long, so it needs to be memorable. And
Yeah.
they're doing everything in their power to really build this up as something for Darby to really hang his hat on. And stuff like this goes a long way towards perception.
No.
Excellent job.
Yeah, it was excellent. It was very good video work. I need to figure out who the other editor is who does these video packages and follow them on social media too, like I do with the one who does all the ladies videos
Yeah.
that are awesome. Um, so after that, we've got Renee Paquette. She's outside Jericho's locker room with him and asked if he had found partners. He was like, I was just talking to him, and out of his dressing room walks Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Syndicate, which is totally awesome. And then Renee Paquette
Yeah.
comes out. I marked out for this a little bit. I was like, hell yeah, perfect. That's perfect.
You know what the weirdest? It's weird how things come full circle because Shelton Benjamin's first Intercontinental title came when he beat Chris Jericho at Taboo Tuesday in a match that they called on the fly. Jericho called an audible in that match to drop the belt to Benjamin. It was his call. It wasn't the office's call. It was something the office had to deal with after the fact because Jericho called that in the ring to move the belt to him after hearing how the fans reacted to him.
Because he's awesome.
So the history between these two is really, really interesting for me personally.
Yeah.
I liked this. The idea of him teaming up with Shelton. Bobby, they don't really have a history with Bobby and Jericho don't really have much of a history together.
Nah.
But Jericho and Shelton have some interesting history.
Yeah.
So
he did call him bald as they walked away though, which was funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, they are though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's both on purpose. It's not like their hair was falling out. They chose to shave their head. I don't know why they get mad.
After that, Tony Schiavone brings Darby Allin to the ring for a pre-main event promo. Darby does kind of, I mean, for Darby, it's kind of the basic promo. I thank all of you, thank everybody who helped me on my way up.
Really like that he thanked the Sherpas.
Yeah.
Because they never get like any recognition.
Yeah, like I climbed Mount Everest.
Whatsoever.
Yeah, with a guy who'd done it like 15 times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't get the credit.
Yeah.
They don't get the credit. They don't get their name put on.
Those are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. They've done it a bunch.
They've done it a bunch. They live on the mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool. That particular thing specifically, I popped for that.
Yeah. But he's the crowd's chanting "You deserve it" and all this, and then MJF is like, no, and
he comes out, he poops the party.
Yeah, but MJF's like, "You give me my world title back right now." Darby Allin is like, "No."
Yeah,
he's like, "Give me a rematch." His
delivery was like,
"No."
Yeah, it was just symbols. Like, no. You don't deserve anything. You get to the back of the line. You put something up that that means something before you cut everybody else in line,
right?
To get this. So that also made me think, oh, great, is it going to be title for title now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
But then, so like Alan's like, I'll do this every single week until my body gives out, but everybody else deserves it over you. And then, he's like, it starts with Ciampa, and then Ciampa's music comes on, and MJF just stands there in the rampway, like looking all, butthurt that Ciampa decided to go ahead and come out. And Ciampa gets face to face with him and gives him a little kiss and just walks off. And MJF's face is like, what the fuck?
His face at this was just, I don't think I've ever seen him make that face before. Like, I don't even, it was this mix of shock and disgust and confusion and a little bit of the realization that, like, oh my, this guy is crazy enough to do it. Yeah, and I'll never get my shot because somebody else is already cut in line. Like, all of those emotions are on his face. Max was great here. Like, I know I give Max a tough time for his lack of character arc in terms of the potential babyface that he could be if he would just learn that he's a shithead and like,
Yeah.
own up to his mistakes and stuff like that. But like that doesn't. I'll never take away the talent that he does have. I
Yeah.
mean, he's clearly so talented. It's just the they put him in a position where it's just like, okay, Max is good at this, but we've seen this for 7 years. Show me
Yeah.
something different.
Right.
But
After
yeah,
that,
here he was just excellent. I really much prefer Max as challenger to champion. I mean, I know that that's a lot of people's exact opposite take, that's the baby face that's better in the chase than as the champ, and there's merit to that. But in terms of Max specifically, I just don't like it when he's champion. I just
that's
don't
fair.
like it when he's champion. And I don't really get much satisfaction for whoever beats him, because the only time that he, like, I mean, Darby was the exception,
Yeah.
because it happened in such a unique way. But it's like they beat him, but he never learns anything. Never learns anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But here he was great. He was fantastic here. I would never, ever, ever take away a performance of his
Yeah.
from him.
But yeah, it was a good little promo, but Max kind of scurries away to the back. Tommaso makes his entrance, and we've got our main event for the evening, which is Darby versus Ciampa for the world title. And this is my match of the week.
Yeah,
Easily.
I don't think it, like, this was incredible.
Yeah.
This was
It was so fucking
absolutely
good.
stellar. And for the
Yeah.
record, Meltzer gave it the full 5 too. So like this
Yeah.
this was this was great. This
It
was
was fucking awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably the biggest, most memorable thing that happened was that absolutely insane bump from the second turnbuckle to the floor with the Psycho Driller.
Oh, dude, that shit was wild. I was like, oh my
Oh my
God.
god! Don't ever do that again, please. I was actually worried that Ciampa had legitimately broken his hip by
Oh,
doing that.
it was
And I
crazy.
thought Darby might have died. It
Maybe.
was
Yeah. There was a couple
like
times I
it,
thought somebody could have died in this match. I was like, holy fuck.
yeah. And it finish. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, man, in this match. Just it was scratching and clawing. There was a whole, like, the whole middle part of the match revolved around uh, exposing the top turnbuckle and then taking turns not getting hit with it, only for Darby to defy the trope of the person who exposed it actually making contact with it for a really close near fall. Uh, uh, he escaped 2 running knees after the elbow pad was dropped. One by, at the very last second, draping his foot on the rope,
Yeah, he
not
just
even
like
having the
fell
energy to
over
kick
onto the
out.
rope. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then the finish came when Darby managed to get him in the Scorpion Deathlock, and he had it on for like what must have been like 2 solid minutes.
Yeah, it was at
And he
least
was
2 minutes.
scratching and crawling. And at one point, he almost makes it to the ropes, and he's dragged back into the center. And look, at this point too, Ciampa's face is a bloody mess.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's just
Absolute
destroyed.
gusher. Like he just, like, I think this is the first time ever that I've seen Ciampa bleed, because most of my experience with him has been in WWE context, in NXT context,
Yeah.
and they're pretty averse to the stuff, I should say. So I think he's like, well, I'm here. I'm going to get some juice, and I'm not going to have a bigger match than this, a world title match in the main event. This is the place for it.
Yeah.
He chose it judiciously, and like it it was hard not to see comparisons between the WrestleMania 13 finish
Yeah.
with Brett and Austin because the bald guy is in the same hold with his face covered in blood.
Just wearing the
Like
mask, dude. Yeah.
it was obvious that they were trying to. I mean, there was no double turn here necessarily, but like it was obvious that they were paying homage to that.
Yeah.
Except this time, the guy in the hold tapped out,
Yeah.
and afterwards they showed each other respect with with a handshake too, which further lends evidence to my, are they just gonna turn Champ a babyface anyway? Like
I mean, it seems
after
like
3 weeks as a heel, like,
right? I think people
or
really want to
how?
cheer him. So, I mean, it's probably a good move.
Yeah, I mean,
I really want to cheer him.
I've been cheering him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Alignment
Uh,
be damned. I like the
yeah.
guy.
So yeah, he
But
taps
this was
out.
just oh, chef's kiss. And the best part too was after the match, was the angle after the match, because Darby is spent, and then out comes Brody,
Yeah.
and he comes to the ring and he shakes Darby's hand. He says, "I'm so proud of you, but not proud enough, and not so proud that I won't challenge you for the belt. So with your permission," and I thought that was a great touch. With
Yeah.
your permission, Tony Khan has given me the green light, to have a match with you for the title next week if you accept the challenge. And Darby's face is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. Why not?
and
Yeah.
it's and then and then Brody leaves and Darby just like collapses
Yeah.
in the corner. And the story had been up until his title win that it was, that he was the underdog, that, most people never thought that he could win the big one. And now that he's here, because of who he is and who he's compelled to be, he's going to defend it till the brakes fall off, because that's what a champion does, and that's what my legacy is, and that's who Darby Allin is. Because of who he is, more than anything else. Now the story is that because of the path that he's chosen as a man and as champion, that, I think I might be in over my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe you should have consulted with Orange Cassidy before doing something like this.
And I think that's a great character turn for Darby,
Yeah.
because you've never seen him care about that kind of stuff before.
Yeah.
You've never seen him show concern or have the moment. You've never seen him say
Yeah.
ever. This is a man who's thrown himself through plate glass off a 20-foot ladder, who's gone through flaming tables, who's done everything, and he's climbed Mount Everest and survived.
He's been thrown down so many flights of stairs.
Oh my God, so many flights of stairs.
So many.
Over and over again. It's like his favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it seems like it, right?
From the very beginnings of AEW, people have been throwing that man down staircases. And this, finally, now that he's champion and he's choosing this path of facing a murderer's row of challengers week after week, because that's the only way he knows how to be. Now he says,
Yeah.
That's great storytelling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for his match with Brody next week.
No, it is.
I can't imagine that he's going to lose.
Nah.
I don't think he's going to lose until Double or Nothing. I think he's just going to keep. I think, honestly, I kind of hope that Max loses his TNT title match against Kevin Knight, probably by DQ.
Mm-hmm.
Probably puts up the same stipulation that Hanger did or whatever. But I think that he beats Darby beats Brody this week, and probably Kevin Knight the following week, given the fact that he'll have beaten the former world champion probably by DQ.
Yeah.
And then I think there's maybe one, trying to get the math right. No, there's probably 2 more challengers after that.
Yeah, there
heading
need to
into
be.
Double or Nothing if he does a weekly challenge.
Yeah.
So you probably put Andrade in there
Yeah.
for a rematch. And then who else is stake to claim? Is anybody else stake to claim? I feel like I'm missing somebody, but like these are just real hoopers, right? Like
Yeah.
these are guys that can go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of guys that can go too. So we'll
So
see. We'll see if we continue the uh-oh moment, with Darby.
yeah, for all you know, for all I know, you trot out Sting for the world title match and have
Oh
Darby
God.
beat Sting.
That'd be wild. That'd be so
That would be
wild.
wild. I wouldn't recommend it, but
Nah.
like at this point, I would believe damn near anything. So
Yeah. But Dynamite was good this week.
yeah, it was
Do we
almost as good as the week before. It
Yeah.
was real, real,
Yeah, it was
real
really good.
solid.
Yeah. Do we have another call from Ship?
Yeah, we do. That same uh initial tweet actually yielded a different response. Let me bring it back up here. Um, feel free to edit this. Where are you? Okay. Okay. Again, to that, in response to that original satirical post by Sean, Keel, Breezy217 at .bsky.social. Are you lost? Twitter is the land of wrestling and steroid use. If you can elbow your way past the incels and racists,
Here we go. Okay. Look, fucko. B Sky is where the AEW and other associated blue wave wrestling fans are. This is where we are. Welcome to the fucking world. If you think Twitter is where wrestling people are, like wrestling Twitter is pretty much crashed and burned in the last few months, as I understand. And this is where sensible wrestling fans are. So once again, the preacher has turned around to shout at the choir. Like, like this is the problem that I have is that they're directing their ire in the wrong place. Like, there's plenty of places for you to be an asshole in this world and be able to get away with it just fine if you're somebody who's of the side that's supposed to be kind for the most part. There's plenty of fascists to be dicks to. Why do you have to be dicks to wrestling fans, especially the side of us who are decidedly not fascist?
yeah,
It's fucking stupid. Okay, they just got to like, ugh. There's more and more of them every day, but like it's stupid. Like you think you're gonna come to Blue Sky now after we've embedded ourselves in Blue Sky for like a year and a half. Like the community
yeah,
keeps growing. We're bringing other people from other fandoms that share a political leaning with us over into wrestling fandom and showing them the way. Like you think you're gonna get rid of us or shame us into not posting anymore? Fuck off. Fuck off.
yeah,
We were just like the sex workers and the perverts. We were here before you, and we will be here after you.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this is where the weirdos and the sickos coalesce,
Yeah.
and I don't know how you missed that. I,
No.
I
You
mean, that's
could.
that's pretty much the core user base of of
Yeah.
this of this app. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, fuck you, ship. We might talk to you again later. Um,
Yeah.
After that, so we've got it's time for Collision, and
Yes.
we're still in Portland in the same
Yeah.
arena. The
This was.
crowd is still super hot despite going through
Yeah.
a really crazy main event just now. Like they're still super hot coming into this show. And we start off with what I think is going to be like a normal, like one of those normal pre-show backstage promos with the conglomeration. And then they're about to start talking about defending their titles, and then Stokely and FTR interrupt them, and Stokely kind of like gives away the title match. Like he's like, "Oh, have fun defending your titles against Archer and Hechicero and who was the other guy?
Andrade.
Andrade." And like I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know they were defending against those guys." Okay, cool. Um, But okay, and then instead of them going out to defend their titles, FTR and Stokely go out to talk about Cope and Cage, and basically Dax demands that they say I quit at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So are they adding the I quit stipulation to a
They
New
are
York
adding
street
the I
fight?
quit. Yes, they are. Which makes the street fight thing kind of superfluous.
Yeah, because the I quit
But
stipulation
if
doesn't
there's
have DQ anyway.
if they're still gonna call it a street fight, if they're gonna call it an I quit street fight or whatever, they better be wearing street clothes. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not a street fight, not truly, unless you're wearing jeans.
Right?
Even
I
you,
agree.
Stoke.
Yeah. But
Get your skinny jeans on, Stokely.
FTR gets their point across, but it doesn't seem like they're done. But the conglomeration interrupts them anyway to
Yeah.
come out to start their title defense against the Don Callis family. And Strong and O'Reilly actually shove FTR to the ground on their way down to
Yeah.
the ramp. I was like, oh, that's
I'm
crazy.
kind of wondering where that's going because they're both champs of different tag divisions.
Yeah.
And there's no way that you can defend. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, unless they're setting this up for down the line, like maybe FTR drops the belts to Cope and Christian and then get a partner and challenge for the trios belts.
What if it's Stokely? It'd be hilarious.
I don't think that FTR would allow that in character would allow that to happen. I would like to see it.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy watching Stoke get thrown around and bumping like a maniac because he's actually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. I know you don't like the guy, but he's a good little bump machine. So I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I don't see that materializing though. Like I don't know. I don't see it happening. But like if it was to go the opposite way and they were to somehow beat Cope and Cage, are they setting up for the two of the trios champs to try and be double champs? Like I don't know. I don't. Are these divisions really that much in trouble that you have to have this overlap?
They shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be.
Like, it's like the easiest way to do this is to just book more tag team matches that don't involve A, the same talent over and over, and B, the champions.
Yeah.
Where's Big Bill and Brian Keith?
Yeah.
You know, where are the Outrunners?
Yeah.
You know, where are these people? We know they're there.
Yeah.
Like, just where's RPG Vice? They're the only actual like tag team in as such in the Don Callis family, and they just get jobbed out over and over again.
Yeah.
Even though they're 4-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champions or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What is going on here? I love you, Tony, but like you're taking on too much, and things are slipping through the cracks here. Like as much focus as you're putting on the world title scene, and it's been great. And as much as certain other things are clicking on all cylinders, it's impossible for one person to hit every division all the time. Something is going to slip.
Yeah.
For a long time it was the women's division. Now it's the tag and trios divisions.
Yeah.
Like it's just slipping through right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
that being said,
delegate. Delegate.
He does need to delegate a little bit, I think, still. But that being said, this match was really fucking good. It was a lot of fun between.
It really was. Guys. I mean, you look at that team, that Don Callis team. You got Lance Archer, who's always imposing, even if he always takes the loss. They always make sure to like kind of protect him. Be like, okay, it takes 3 people to beat him or whatever.
Yeah.
He always loses, but it's only because they're smart enough to gang up on him.
Yeah.
Then you've got Hechicero, who's currently the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. You've got Andrade, who's teetering around that world title scene too, and is on a he's got the rocket strapped to him. When you've got those two and teaming with Lance Archer, you realize that Lance Archer's taking the pin. But when they did it, it took about 30 seconds of committed, repeated teaming up, several orange punches, the high-low, like they still made him look strong in the first match that Lance Archer has had in like forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they can't just book him to win.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, give me like a proper Haas match with him and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, something. Just
something. And have Archer go over.
Yeah.
And to set up a prolonged feud between the two. I don't know. Do something. Archer versus Big Bill. Something. Give me some meat. I am a carnivore and I want my meat.
I guess Cassidy gives an orange punch to Archer while he's trying to chokeslam O'Reilly and Strong at the same time. Yeah. And they hit him with the combo and another orange punch. And then they hit him with a total elimination. Shout out Eliminators. And then Strong threw Cassidy on top of Archer for the pinfall. So
also in this match they tweaked the corner spot a little bit. Did you notice this?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think they did, yeah.
So Kyle gets the 10 punches in the corner, and then he tags Roddy. And then Roddy, he tweaked it a little bit, so he's doing the 10 punches, but he's doing them like twice as fast as O'Reilly did them.
Yeah.
And then that draws an even bigger contrast with what, Orange's spot in that, where he does just the one.
Just the one. What?
Yeah. I thought great. That was like these little things that I noticed. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a cool little change there. I like that. It really speaks to all three of their characters, and they're like, it's weird how that one spot can tell you everything you need to know about their characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was really, really inspired on Roddy's part to speed that up.
Yeah. It was a really good. I thought it was a really good match, but they retained their AEW Trios Championships, and then after that we've got footage from after Dynamite with Ospreay and Mox. And
Mox was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Mox basically was like propositioning Will Ospreay, letting him know like we can make you into the weapon you need to be to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And then to top all that off was like, if you don't want to do that, you can always break my neck, and like gives him a chair and lays down on the floor in front of him. Which I was like, what are we doing here? What the fuck? Like this part specifically didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
I like that they're doing something interesting with Ospreay to kind of buy this time between now and the Owen. Because I honestly think that there's no other choice but to have him win the Owen and go to All In as the challenger for the world title. I think that's the easy layup choice. I also think it's the right choice.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that they're prolonging this. Like, Ospreay would not fit in with the Death Riders.
No, not really.
He just, stylistically, attitudinally, it's just like, why
it's weird.
It's weird. It's like, you beat him, Mox. You beat him. You showed him that he was his own worst. Why do you even care? Why are you the one prolonging this? I wouldn't say he's let it go, but he's not chasing you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, he's no longer he's taking his lumps, and he went home. Like, you
Yeah.
won. Why are you prolonging this?
Yeah.
I don't like somebody put it on Blue Sky, and I should have saved the post because it put it like this is abuser mentality, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy who's like, look what you made me do to you. I did this, all this bad stuff to you. But the question isn't why I did that. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What is it going to make you, who does that make you in the wake of
Yeah.
it? It's like, that is abuser talk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
Like,
weird.
this is, let me be absolutely clear. Moxley is not a babyface. He is a heel right now. He's not even a tweener. He's a heel right now if he's using abuser language
Yeah.
and abuser mentality.
Yeah.
He's trying to gaslight Will Ospreay into I don't know what, but it's just like, I didn't do this, you did this. And like, no, you were the one who tried to break his neck and tried to
Yeah.
claim that it wasn't personal, even though this is the only time that you've ever done it and not had a minion do it. And like, you did
Yeah.
it over and over again.
Yeah.
And now you're claiming it's not personal. You are
Seems personal.
gaslighting.
Yeah.
And like, it's look, Mox was great here in his performance, but like, it's difficult for me to get behind this when it's like, this should be over already.
Yeah.
This should be over already. But I mean, it's not. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, Osprey had the chance to break his neck, and he took his chair and went. He left. So
Yeah.
uh, I guess Osprey's gonna flirt with being a Death Rider, which I don't think fits at all. But maybe it's temporary.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes next, but I mean that's about as far as my interest goes. I just want to see what they're gonna do next. Like, is it gonna be worth it? All right. So after that, we've got our Death Riders, Garcia, Castagnoli, and Yuta with the Dogs against the Young Bucks and the Rascals.
Party
Party
match.
match. Yeah, right in the middle of the show. I thought this was the most fun match on the show. I had a lot of fun
Yeah.
watching this one, man.
Lots of stuff going on here. Everybody looked
Yeah.
incredible. You know what? It's so funny to me. I think it. The more I see Clark Connors, the more I'm impressed with his ability to turn a shoulder block into like an interesting weapon.
Yeah.
Like people, I think it's I mean, it's partially the way people just sell for him, but like, he's just running through people with his shoulder. Like, it's the most basic move
Yeah.
that you can even think of. Is like, you think of, it's part of, drop, shoulder tackle, drop down, the whole thing. It's so rudimentary, and yet he's chosen to take this rudimentary thing and make it a major part of his arsenal, to the point
Yeah.
where he's just like cannonballing people into corners and into barricades and over the ropes, and like, just, it's like, what did I this that kind of thing makes me think it probably started as a joke.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these things like start as jokes. So what can I do to pop the boys in the back?
Yeah.
And then it just happens to get a reaction from the audience, and they just go with it. A lot of things in wrestling are like that. I'm wondering if this started off as a joke. Oh, what can I do to pop the boys in the back? Oh, I know. Let's oversell the most rudimentary, basic thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
Let's just do that to a ludicrous Rock taking a stunner like degree, and see if we can pop the boys in the back. And in the process, it's getting reactions from the crowd.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
He's doing some real
I don't know
juggernaut
if
shit.
that's what happened, but that's my headcanon.
Yeah. It was a really good match. There's just like so much to go over that it's like that we can't really get into all of it. But
At one
um,
point, everybody was doing or was in a sharpshooter.
yeah,
Uh,
except for the two guys who were fighting in between everybody in
who was it?
like a murderer's alley football situation.
Yeah,
Like it's just fighting in this row in the middle of the ring between these two sets of two sharpshooters, which I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
It was
Oh,
it was kind of great actually. Who was it? I think it was Yuta and Myron Reed maybe
yeah,
that were in the middle of everybody, and then at some point, Reed goes to pin Yuta, and that's when everybody breaks it up.
yeah,
And they release the sharpshooters and they break it up.
yeah. Um,
Um,
but at the end, it looks
they
like,
did. Myron did the inside out over the top rope cutter,
oh
but this time
yeah,
they were smart about it because he did it into the Young Bucks, so the bump wasn't as gnarly as it usually is because he
yeah,
fell on people as opposed to the hard floor.
right.
So they were smart about that. Thank you, Young Bucks, for saving that poor man's life because he continues to risk it by doing that spot.
Right. Um, so yeah, they Wentz kind of, I mean, amidst all the chaos, Wentz kind of gets singled out by the other team, and as like, I mean, it just kind of works out that Finley has him picked up in a suplex as Connors comes off the top. Like it didn't
Yeah,
seem like they set
very
that move up at all.
organic.
It was really organic how that came about. But they hit him with the full clip, and I mean that's it. I haven't seen anybody kick out of that move yet. So
Yeah, it it was the finish was great because it felt final and it felt earned, but it also felt out of nowhere to the point where Wentz didn't look like he was weak for taking it. He
no,
accidentally wound up in a situation that didn't go his way.
yeah,
Like he didn't look stupid or stupid baby face or whatever. Like no, this just the timing and the positioning happened to go the wrong way for him.
yeah,
I thought everybody was protected. Everybody looked great. Um, but the heels take the win here.
yeah. Which I mean, I was kind of surprised by, but yeah, I like being
No,
surprised.
I wasn't surprised by it. They're trying to build the dogs as the next heel challengers for Cope and Cage. I think
Mhm.
they came in, they beat up the Young Bucks after Gabe Kidd got injured. They beat up the Rascals. Like they're trying to establish these guys in this division.
Yeah,
Clearly, TK wants to get the most out of his investment in them.
yeah. After that, we've got Lexi backstage with Sheeta and Statlander, Harley Cameron, and Mina Shirakawa. And we still got Sad Harley
But we have Sad Harley, who is continuing to reveal hidden talents by
by speaking
revealing that,
Japanese.
yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know she could speak Japanese.
I didn't
And
either.
Sheeta looked surprised that Harley could speak Japanese.
Yeah.
I still don't have a translation of what was said in this
Yeah,
promo.
they're gonna have to start giving me fucking subtitles if they're gonna do this, man.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, they're gonna have to do something, man. 'Cause, like, I can't.
but either
Yeah,
way, it was cool because they all Mina, Harley, and Sheeta getting this like 2-on-1 argument in Japanese, and Statlander just was like, ugh, and she walks off right into her match with Becca.
yeah,
Who this was not your standard squash. Like it only went about 3 minutes or so, but Becca for being like this unsigned challenger, I thought she looked really good here, and actually, I think she controlled most of the match,
yeah. I think so too. Like, she really got a lot of offense in.
and she looked great.
Yeah,
Like I was impressed. She, what was the finish? Becca was going for Carmella's submission finish. What did she call it? The cone of silence,
yeah,
where
I think
she
so.
like it was like a head scissors, but she was looking to try and grab that ankle to really wrench in the neck crank on it, but she couldn't
Yeah.
quite get the ankle in. And Statlander, being the powerhouse she is, just lifts her up and counters it, contorts Becca's body into the Saturday Night Fever and pins her after that.
Yeah.
Really cool finish. Liked it a lot.
Yeah. After that, we have Divine Dominion immediately responding to Sheeta saying that they're going to win the tag titles with
Oh
their
yeah,
own
that
way or
happens,
not.
and
Yeah.
that's what made Chris storm off. She's like, hello, did you consult me on this? No.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got the big ladies talking about how they're not, they're of course they're going to win. You're not gods in this world like we are. I mean, very typical of the way
Lena,
they talk.
that said, I think Lena handled herself well on the mic. This is the first time I'm hearing her speak, and she carried herself really well.
Yeah, she did all right. It wasn't terrible.
No,
So
not at all. Not far from it.
yeah. After that, we've got a weird match. They said Rush was going to be in action. I didn't think he was going to be going against Adam Priest. We haven't seen Adam Priest in a while.
Yeah, he's been mostly on ROH, I think.
But yeah, these two, it was a relatively short match, but it was really good. I'm real competitive. I mean, they had a.
Are they turning Rush babyface?
I don't know. I don't think
He,
so.
Like, he was definitely playing to the crowd. I mean, that's not unusual for Rush, but he seemed to be doing that more than he usually does. And he got on the mic after he hit Priest with the horns and pinned him, and he did his catchphrase, but he seemed like he was, I don't know, something about it seemed different. Like he was playing more to the crowd than he normally does. I don't know, something seemed different, and I can't really quite put my finger on it. I think they might be turning the guy. I mean, the guy, I mean, it's no secret that I'm a big fan of Rush and his intensity and like that X factor that he brings to the ring and his work that's different from nearly everybody else in AEW.
Yeah.
But they kept talking on commentary about how a singles title in AEW has eluded him thus far, despite the fact that he's a two-time Ring of Honor World Champion. But it's just a matter. I think Excalibur, the phrase he used was, "You have to think it's only a matter of time," which makes me think, oh, okay, is he like your next TNT champion or something? Your next national champion?
Yeah, like something.
Like, honestly,
Seems weird.
as much as I enjoy Jack Perry as the underdog plucky baby face, I think that's really his role and the thing that he does really well. I gotta say, there's part of me that really wants to see Rush just beat the piss out of him and take that belt. I want to see how he would handle facing somebody like Rush, who's just so overwhelming and just straight up like violent psychopath. Yeah, I don't know though. Like, this match was nothing but okay, really. It wasn't like anything super special. Adam Priest did come off looking like a tough guy for his size. He was taking those chops as well as pretty much anybody.
Yeah,
Rush hits hard with those chops. Like he really lays them in.
God, yeah, he was laying it in hard. But Adam Priest, I mean, to his credit, he can
tough
take that
little
kind of
scrappy
shit.
guy.
He's tough as hell. He really is.
You have to imagine there's probably like a Napoleon complex at work that's trying to like overcompensate. I feel like it's working for him. Yeah. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In wrestling, especially if you're undersized, you need that chip. So if you don't want to be bullied from pillar to post by some of the jerks in this industry, you need to be able to show that you can take it and give it back. And I feel like Adam Priest's very capable of that. But yeah, here he takes the loss, which was not unexpected. It was just the things, the whole vibe around Roosh that was unexpected. I don't know how I feel about it
Yeah.
because I like Roosh, but like, would I like babyface Roosh? I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
Depends on how much they change him, you know.
I don't know how much he would change regardless.
That's he seems like he seems like somebody who knows who he is, and doesn't want to change. Very Darby like, except maybe a little more selfish, and a different kind of mentally ill.
Yeah.
More sadistic than masochistic. Let's just say that. But yeah,
After that, we've got Takeshita and Okada kind of back and forthing in their own backstage, like pre-tapes, I guess.
yeah,
Where Takeshita just basically, he's like, I don't really want to do this out of respect for Don Callis and the family, but if you really want to do it, I'll happily take your title, bitch.
yep,
And then Okada responds, he's like, I don't fear you, I don't like you, I don't respect you, but then he switches to Japanese, and here I need some more subtitles.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I feel hashtag blessed to be in the building that night when it goes down.
as I turn green. After that, we've got the women's tag match with Tekla and Sky Blue taking on Alex Windsor and Persephone. And
Ladies put in work, baby.
this is a really great match. The only thing I question is the finish. Like, what? Like, are we just not gonna like? Is Tekla completely impenetrable as far as her plot armor goes at this point?
Well, I mean, she's got her hench ladies to guard her back. I liked that Sky Blue got the pin here. She never gets those
I mean,
opportunities.
I'm
She's
not
always
mad
the
at
one
that at
eating
all.
pins.
I'm just
She's always the one eating pins, so it's nice to see her get a pin, even if it was facilitated by the returning Black Mist
yeah.
from Julia Hart. But yeah, Tekla didn't even factor into the finish here, so I thought that was a nice thing for Sky. Like that's how I looked at it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even really consider plot armor for Tekla or whatever. I was just like, oh, that's great. They let Sky Blue get the pin there. That's awesome. Good for her.
I mean, yeah,
She
good
never
for
gets those
her.
opportunities, you
I
know.
just I'm just like, like this is the CMLL women's champion.
But I mean, she fell to cheating though.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
fine.
that's fair.
It's
That's
fine.
fair. But I'm just like, come on, like, because it's like I'm getting to a point now where I'm like techless in the match. Okay, I know who's gonna win. Like,
Yeah,
and
but
and
I
I know that's not a fault of hers. I know that's
I
how the booking
think
is
this is
working out,
setting.
but
I think it's setting up for Tekla versus Persephone though,
I hope so.
because I think in the coming weeks you're going to see her want to get revenge on Julia Hart,
Mhm.
and she'll beat up Julia Hart because Julia never wins anymore either. Then she'll beat up Sky Blue, and then that'll leave only Tekla, and that'll be a double or nothing with the belt on the line.
No.
Probably not both of them. I don't think it'll be. If they run it back for Forbidden Door, maybe they'll do belt for belt.
Mhm.
But I only see the AEW Women's Title on the line coming up. I'm if that's the match I get, I'll be grateful for that too. I'm becoming a real big fan of Persephone, and everybody knows that I think Tekla's like just the coolest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She is pretty cool though. So.
so yeah, but yeah, I thought this was an interesting turn. It was nice to see Sky get the pin here.
Yeah. It was pretty nice. I mean, yeah, she doesn't get a lot of those, so
No, she doesn't.
nah. Especially since
No,
partnering up with
she and
Julia and
Julia
joining.
and Julia too. Like Julia, like she's a former TBS champion, but ever since she's come back, the majority of the time she's looking at the lights. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know where along the line she kind of fell from grace and wound up in just the henchman role. But I, mm,
Yeah, not sure.
I'm hoping that it's tough having so many people that you support because not everybody can win all the
Yeah,
time, you know?
yeah, people have
So,
to lose.
yeah.
Uh, after that, we've got a little video package recapping MJF challenging Kevin Knight for the TNT title and how it's going to be on Dynamite, and we've covered that to death.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep going. After that, we've got our AEW National Championship match where Jack Perry takes on El Clone.
Jack
Um,
Perry does this weird thing where he comes to the ring with his hair down, puts it up in a bun, hits a couple of moves, and then takes the hair out of the bun.
yeah, and
What? What was the point of
in
that?
a cringy, I thought it was kind of gross moment when he put it up in the bun, he squeezed it out, and a visible amount of water
Yeah,
came out of his
a
hair
lot of water came out of his hair.
and just like splashed on
As
the ground next to fans and stuff. And I'm just like, ew.
as I'm as somebody who's never had long hair, I never expected that. Like I was like,
Oh,
oh,
dude.
that's weird, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Long
That's
hair
kind
can
of
hold a
weird.
serious amount of water.
Yeah.
I have thin hair, so when I had long hair, like I didn't have the problems with the hair that with my long hair that other people have, but I have thin hair, and I also have I did an undercut, so it was like I had nowhere
Yeah.
near the kind of like bushy long hair that
Volume.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had dude, yeah, he has volume that makes L'Oreal commercials look like shit,
He has
you know.
glorious, glorious hair.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I mine wasn't like that. So I don't know the trouble he deals with, but I also took, I took measures like undercutting and doing other things to keep it
Right.
from being a problem like that. So I don't know how he deals with it, but yeah, the visible amount of water, I was just like, ew. Like right before the match, doc, really gonna do that? Like it's kind of gross. Okay,
Like you
but
could have saved all of that and have him just hit you and you could have sold it better by having water fly everywhere. Like
yeah, exactly. Like stomp your
I
head and like leave a puddle of you. Like oh, he
I
stomped the
I
spit
feel
out
like
of
that's
it.
a missed opportunity.
Yeah, of some kind at least. Like yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I mean this is the match itself though, but hair water aside, was not that bad. It was a fun little match. I mean, kind of
Yeah.
what I've come to expect from each of them, really.
Yeah.
Kind of like they both got their shit in and that was kind of our match. But
Yeah, kind
that's
of.
not a negative, really. Laudatory.
I
So
like that El Clone at one point looked like he was going to uh, hit the proper combination of buttons and steal his opponent's finish. Uh, I I'm glad that he didn't hit it because I don't I'm weird about finishing moves. Like if you're gonna use somebody else's finishing move, I can see the justification for it not working because you're not as adept with that move.
mhm.
But like if you're gonna the whole point of stealing somebody's finish is to beat them with it. So like it should beat them. I can also see that rationale. So I'm glad that that El Clone actually didn't hit that flying knee,
Yeah,
because that takes out of the equation the disappointment of him not winning with it.
yeah, yeah.
So, but I do think that he should be able to like download his opponent's move sets,
Mhm.
like and do their signature stuff. Like I think that would be a cool gimmick for the guy who's supposedly, you know, a computer virus, like and a clone. Like it, I feel like that should be part of his gimmick.
Yeah.
That he uses his opponent's moves. Maybe not their finishers, but maybe something else that they are known for using. That way
Yeah.
he doesn't have to pin them off of it.
Right. But yeah, I mean, we get Perry retains with a released German suplex and that running knee strike. And
Mhm.
then after that, we've got Willow Nightingale backstage in, I guess, a pre tape, but talking about how she's kind of accepted the comeback killer role. And that makes me wonder who's next. Like, who's coming back next that she's going to defeat?
I can tell you two things. I can tell you who I want next to be.
Mm,
I want it to be Nyla Rose.
that would be fair.
Put Nyla Rose on television, damn it.
Yes. Always.
But the other thing is, I think I know where this is going.
We'll
She's
probably
going to
come
kill
in and-
Mercedes comeback.
That'd be wild. That would be wild, actually, if she did. Like, it would be.
I think it's setting up for Mercedes. Aren't they going to Boston pretty soon, actually?
I think so, but I don't know the schedule. I mean, I know they're over in that area of the country, and they're like, and it's really weird because they're going from Portland. Like next week is in Virginia or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're starting that leg of like the Double or Nothing leg of the tour. So they're probably going to be all over the Northeast for the
Yeah.
next, 6 weeks or so for Double or Nothing, like 5 weeks. No, it's only like a month away. It's like 28 days or some shit. So like 4 weeks. Golly, time goes by too fast at this age.
Doesn't it? Just. No, they're not. The next time they're in Boston is July 15th. So yeah, I don't think that's.
I mean,
no.
maybe a Double or Nothing then. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's more likely.
Yeah. So after that, we go backstage. We've got Shibata on the camera as Samoa Joe and Hook walk around. Hook lies bold faced to Samoa Joe and says he's been recruiting, which he has not.
He hasn't done anything.
My Army recruiters were less of dicks than you were to fucking Anthony Bowens. All right,
He's walked around and shot the shit with Shibata about coffee shops.
Yeah,
that's what he's done.
That's all he's been doing.
And he's strung along Anthony Bowens for a month.
Yeah, which Samoa Joe comes in and basically puts that to bed and welcomes Bowens to the ops.
Yes. Give him something to do, something separate from Max Caster. Yes, I'm all in favor, especially after the matches that the dude's been having.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly he deserves to be in something with a little bit of spotlight.
Yeah. Let's get rid of that home plate chest piece and make him a little harder edged. And let's sharpen that blade up a little bit because I think Anthony Bowens is like a harder edge character would be really cool, I think. And then after that we've got the Demand versus Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate.
It was fun.
And this is actually the best crowd reaction to Judas that we've had the entire time he's been around.
Yeah, I said, I think the goodwill has been building to the point where people are saying, okay, this isn't going to be like it was before he left. This is acceptable. We're not as gun shy on having fun with it.
Yeah,
I think this is a building kind of thing. The realization that, okay, they're committed to this being different than it was before.
Yeah. But this was a really good, really awesome match. Like the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, it was fun.
And the Hurt Syndicate and GOA need to do more. Like we need more of them in the ring together. Like get the tag titles between them sometime after Wembley, and let's just fucking get this going, man.
I loved MVP on comms really putting over Toa Leona.
Yeah, I did.
Saying that he's the only person in AEW I've seen move Bobby Lashley against his will, which isn't true.
Right.
Like Bobby sells. He doesn't no sell people generally. Like there are other people who have suplexed him and stuff like that. But it's it's one of those selective things where it's like in the service of putting somebody else over, okay, I can let that go. Because like Toa Leona's put in the work. And he deserves it. He deserves to be put over, in my opinion, on on commentary. So yeah, like that's what MVP said wasn't strictly true,
No.
but it's really really cool of him to give him the rub that way.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it was really funny. He's like, yeah, you can't hurt his head, but we can attack his neck.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Weak point. I thought that was like that's a good point.
Hey, that was
That's
yeah,
a
I was
good
like,
point,
that's a good one.
MVP.
That's a good one.
And you know that I mean that was for me specifically. You know me. I'm a big fan of the Samoans with hard heads trope.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
really necessarily feel like that's a damaging stereotype.
No, I don't
In
think it
fact,
is at all.
it's the opposite. It's a very a literal non-damaging
Yeah.
stereotype
It's an
because you
empowering
can't
stereotype.
damage their head.
Yeah. But and this is the part that didn't actually surprise me, which I normally it would because of how he
Mhm.
built it up. But this didn't surprise me. Jericho is living up to his gimmick of being the guy who gets his ass beat by the Demand every week that he shows up because they take the L via Rico Salt, just like Ricochet called on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was glad to see it. I know that the Hurt Syndicate kind of has a bad rap among the fandom because especially towards the end of their tag title reign, where it's like they weren't really. The feeling was they weren't willing to put certain people over, and MVP was trying to like get in the way of them like ever losing. So it was even though Jericho was the one who ate the pin, it was kind of good to see them lose in their return because it was like, okay, this is a show of good faith. Just like with Jericho, this is a show of good faith. It's my turn to basically put everybody else over. So, can we talk a little bit? Like somebody brought this up on Blue Sky, and I think it's worth talking about, even for just like a minute. Can we talk about how Shelton Benjamin isn't really, or Bobby Lashley isn't really all that much bigger than Shelton Benjamin?
no, he's not really.
But like he's like the powerhouse. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I think they're pretty even in that respect. I don't know. I don't know if you need to put one over as this is the role this guy plays and this is the role this guy plays. When it's like, okay, you have pretty comparable skill sets, actually.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know. I thought
they're
that was
not
funny.
that. Yeah, I mean, when you look at them like side by side in the ring, they're really not that much different in size.
No.
Like, I don't know how the
Bobby,
WWE presented them so differently.
honestly, Bobby is not even really that tall for a wrestler. He's like 6'1", 6'2",
Okay.
which like, and I think that Shelton is like a legit 6'3". So like, he's actually a little taller than Bobby, and almost as well muscled. So like, I don't know, man. Like I don't really buy that Bobby's so much bigger, like bigger
Yeah.
and badder. And it's like, I
No.
think Shelton. If it came down to it, I think Shelton would take Bobby.
Yeah, I think Shelton's the bigger threat of the two of them. I
But
really do.
I think he's got more weapons at his disposal. Honestly,
Yeah. But yeah,
but yeah, that was Collision.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Another good show, wrestling centric show.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I can't wait for this coming week. Honestly, it's gonna be good stuff. We've got Darby defending against Brody, which is like price of admission in and of itself. And then you've got on top of that MJF and Kevin Knight in a match where I could seriously see it going either way. Like I don't know where that's going.
yeah.
And I'm worried about it, but I'm also excited because I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to be surprised, even if I'm willing to open myself up to disappointment in the process. Yeah, like it's going to be a good time. I'm really, really enjoying. I've been enjoying, and I even on the off weeks I enjoy more than I don't because it's pro wrestling and I love wrestling for its own sake.
Yeah.
But uh, man, like it's for a long time now, with a couple of like momentary exceptions. Dynamite and Collision have been just kind of hitting on all cylinders, and it's like, what a time to be an AEW fan.
Oh, dude, it is a great time to be an AEW fan. Like it's been such good stuff lately. Like we're getting treated to like the best wrestling right now. It's so good. I'm just such a big fan of what's going on right now. Like I really love it. But with that said,
There's two more things we can do.
yeah.
I think one more visit from Ship Lidman before we close this out today. How about you?
That
There was
sounds
a
good.
lot going on this week. I think probably off the heels of the WrestleMania weekend. But hunkerdown.bsky.social says, as far as scripted entertainment, there are so many great shows to watch or catch up on these days. In addition, real sports exist. Are these people watching wrestling for, and it says wrestling,
Ugh.
for the comedically bad acting? I've never understood what niche it fills if you're not six.
Oh man, I will tell you what niche it fills. It fills the niche of theater and stunt work and combat art. And it is all of those things. It is a real sport. Like you go up to a fucking professional wrestler of any level and tell them they're not a real fucking athlete, and you might get punched in the fucking mouth. Like, just stop with this nonsense about like, yes, it's scripted. Do you fucking the NFL is probably rigged, UFC's probably rigged, everything's probably rigged. At least we fucking admit it. We say, like, hey, this is what it is, So like, I don't know, like maybe hop off wrestling's dick, to be perfectly honest. Like fucking quit it. Like, what kind of bullshit? Like, oh, it's just such a pain in the ass having to listen to these people justify their crap every fucking week, you know, like and say the same shit effectively. Like they're not even saying anything new. Like, oh, you think I haven't heard somebody say fucking wrestling isn't real before or that it's not a real sport? Like that's gonna hurt my fucking feelings or something.
We like
Like,
it because it's not real. Not in
yeah,
spite of it not being real.
right?
But anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
that's the last shit lemon for this week, I
yeah,
think.
fuck Chip Libman. Like this is L3, you bastards. Like, y'all kiss my ass. With that said, I think there's only one more thing we can do here.
And that's do it like the pros do. And
Call it in the ring.
so this week, the other news that kind of happened earlier this week and then was kind of overshadowed by the mass releases at WWE was the long dormant Twitter account of Lucha Underground posted a video, and it was just a picture of a lucha mask in on a surface, on a flat surface with a smoky background, and all it did was close in on it and then post the question Mas,
Ugh. Ugh.
which has led to speculation about two possibilities. Number one, it could just be, and I would say there's probably a higher likelihood of this happening. It could just be that Lucha Underground has found a streaming home. When I think for what, 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, I think it's 3 seasons because I think
Three
they said there
seasons.
was supposed to be a season 4, but it never materialized or something
Yeah,
like that.
budgetary concerns.
Yeah.
Um, but I think more than likely, I think the more likely option is that or scenario rather, is that it's found a streaming home either on Netflix or Tubi, maybe, or somewhere more readily accessible than it is now. Where if you try to stream it now, you're probably going to have to pay per episode or per season.
Yeah.
If you want access to that. But we're going with the more interesting option, I guess, because the only question was Mas more.
Yeah.
And that seems to suggest that maybe they found backing after all and they're rebooting it for a fourth season. And that's an interesting concept. Now, I'm not super familiar with Lucha Underground. I've actually, it's been on a list that is on, it's in very good company of a lot of other things that I mean to catch up on, but never wind up watching. But luckily, Aaron is far more familiar with Lucha Underground than I am. So I asked Aaron if he would share his thoughts on what a revival of Lucha Underground could look like, what he wants to see happen, where they left off, what they would have to change. You know, basically, if they were going to do a fourth season, what would the entire picture of it look like?
You know, I think that honestly, I don't think it's as in depth as some people might think, except for one major thing. And I think if they kept everything down to the arena, if we have the temple, if we have all the same titles, if we have the same format with the same events, that would be perfectly fine. I don't think anybody had any issue with any of that stuff. I think the issue that's going to arise is that unless Tony Khan is involved in this, about 90% of the Lucha Underground roster is currently under contract to Tony Khan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
and the former champion they would have to write off.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the last Lucha Underground champion of all freaking people Jake Hager?
I am not sure. I can't remember who exactly the last one was.
I mean, they had a cinematic style, so they could easily just write it off somehow without him even being present if it came down to it. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the last champion was Jake Hager. As he had a different name, right? It wasn't under his real name. It was in that awkward period where he had been released from WWE, but AEW wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm checking out Lucha Underground. Let's see. Champions. Jake Strong.
Jake Strong.
And yeah, and he was the last Gift of the Gods and Lucha Underground champion. So
for those who are unfamiliar with Lucha Underground, explain the Gift of the Gods championship.
The Gift of the Gods championship was like this kind of like a tournament where you won medallions. It was very like, I can't remember what was the show called Karate Masters back in the day, where you had like there was this show called Karate Masters. I think that's what it was called, where like it was very wrestling like, where there was people that played like these martial artists that played characters, and they would like spar or like have like a martial arts competition, fight, quote unquote, because it was very staged to earn these medallions. And that was very much the same concept in Lucha Underground. You would have a match, and if you won, you would earn this medallion, and then like you would have to earn like I think it was like 5 or 7 medallions, and you fill up this championship, and whoever does that wins the championship, basically. And that was I think like after it was filled up after the initial tournament, it just changed hands like a normal belt. Kind of like the Continental title does now, like they had the initial tournament, and now, then it went on. So, but yeah, that was basically the Gift of the Gods championship. It was kind of like a because they only had that and the Underground Championship and then the Trios title, and I'm pretty sure that was like it. They had like a couple other things, they had like tournaments and tournament cups and Aztec Warfare and all that stuff. But they didn't. That was like the only three titles they actually had was a Trios title and two singles titles. But the women fought for all the same titles.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most interesting parts of Lucha Underground was that
I
the
remember it
women,
made waves when Sexy Star won the title, right?
yeah, yeah, she won the Gift of the
Especially
Gods championship, I'm pretty sure.
especially what came out after
Yeah,
about her.
God, that whole thing. Yeah. So that's another thing is like you've got a couple problematic people on the roster who are not contracted anywhere, and then the rest of the roster pretty much is signed to, you know, AEW or somewhat like see, we had Pentagon and Ray Phoenix, and they're signed with WWE. Ray Mysterio, WWE. Um, they had Son of Havoc,
Ricochet.
Ricochet. They had Dragon Azteca, who I think is signed with like AAA or CMLL now. Um, I mean, there was just a whole bunch of people, but like almost every one of those people has like either fully committed to the character they were on Lucha Underground and gone out and been signed somewhere else, or they've shed the mask and they've gone somewhere else, like
Mm.
Ricochet or Prince Puma, who was the first Lucha Underground champion. So, um, I mean, I think I don't know where Mil Muertes is right now. Should probably bring him back.
Didn't Jeff Cobb wasn't he Matanza, right?
Yeah, he was Matanza, I'm pretty sure. But that's
I do
WWE.
remember seeing his introduction
Yeah,
because I was rooming with somebody who was very into it, and then they showed me that episode, that match in particular. That was my first introduction to Jeff Cobb, and I'm like, dude, this guy's a monster.
yeah, he killed Rey Mysterio, man. Like he just destroyed Rey Mysterio, poor guy. Um, so yeah, it was. But yeah, so I mean, like yeah, like I said, like about 90 to 95% of the roster is signed somewhere else now. So what it's gonna look like if I would imagine it looks a lot like the previous show did. If you're gonna bring it back, like what the fans enjoyed the format and what titles they had and all that stuff. So bring back all that. What's gonna change is the roster. And without Tony Khan's involvement, that's the major change
Yeah.
because almost literally almost everyone and the people who aren't signed other places and even some of the ones who are signed other places are like legendarily problematic in the wrestling industry. Sexy Star, Jake Hager, Alberto El Patron was in Lucha Underground for a while. um so but there's Ricochet, even if you want to go that far, like there's a lot of people who were problematic on the roster, and there's a lot of who turned out to be, and then now there's most of them are signed somewhere else. So like it's very slim pickings for who we could bring back without some kind of partnership or involvement from a different company. But if you going partnering with AEW would be the easiest way to get back most of the roster and make it feel the most like the original. Without that, if they partner with WWE, that's going to drive some fans away initially altogether. And
You would
if
have to
they,
imagine that in order for it to work, that WWE would have to be hands off on the production, and they don't
yeah,
like to be hands off.
no, they don't. So,
They are
yeah,
like the worst micromanagers imaginable. So yeah, no, I see your point. Like to me it seems like either you go one of two routes. You either partner with one of the big promotions that has a lot of the former roster, or you start all over again and you mine the indies for all this talent.
yeah,
Like Lucha Underground is largely responsible for the prominence of guys like Penta and
Yeah.
Phoenix. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they get the attention of people who were booking All In, the original one, and being put in that position if it wasn't for Lucha Underground success and
Yeah.
their exposure from that, because nobody would have known who they were.
Yeah. And then other people like Johnny Mundo,
Yeah,
experienced career resurgences there. And some other people like went on. I mean, there's
Brian Cage,
Brian Cage.
part of
There's
that.
Chelsea Green. I think that's the first time I saw
Yeah,
her pop up. So I mean, yeah, there's like, but yeah, pretty much everybody has gone somewhere else. So you're gonna either have to partner up or scour the indies and do another and God help the indies. I we got some great indies going on, and here comes yet another company where we could have a possibility of like all the best wrestlers off the indies getting snatched up again and taken somewhere where they're contracted, and then
and the other thing
fuck,
too
man.
that you would have to factor in and have to at least consider is that, given that it's a lucha promotion and given the heavily Mexican uh, cultural overlay of the entire aesthetic,
Mhm.
you'd probably want, at the very least, a majority of your roster to be Hispanic, if not outright Mexican in heritage.
Yeah,
So you're looking for probably a couple of gringos to pad the roster, but mostly, you're mining Southern California and Texas
yeah,
and Mexico
yeah,
for the talents in those indie promotions.
yeah.
You probably
Um,
wouldn't be able to afford anybody from CMLL. If you wanted anybody from
Depends on the
AAA,
backing.
if you wanted anybody from AAA, you're going to have to deal with WWE and their micromanagement now that they're owned by WWE.
Yeah,
You're probably better off looking for hidden gems across the indie scene in Mexico, I would imagine,
yeah,
and trying to
probably.
make guys. And that keeps your budget down, too. Remember, like I said, they were denied a fourth season because of budgetary concerns. So you keep your budget down by not having like a ton of big stars that you're going to have to pay a lot of money to out of
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would imagine indies. Like I said, like there's always a possibility of a partnership. I mean, but
Yeah,
but then there's also the complete other opposite direction where there's always the possibility this is one of those things that just materializes to nothing.
yeah.
Because I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people post teasers like this or big things coming or whatever, and there is never the
Yeah,
big
but after
things.
7 years,
I mean, yeah, it's
like,
wild. It's wild for them
yes,
to wake back up and for this to happen. But
yeah.
who's funding it is probably going to be a really big factor
Do
in.
they have Robert Rodriguez again?
Yeah, that's a good question too because his direction was a big part of it.
It was a huge part of it, wasn't it? Like the
Yeah,
whole cinematic thing was revolutionary because it was his like grindhouse kind of style.
yeah, yeah. It was really revolutionary that way, and a lot of people just didn't do a lot of cinematic stuff, and when they did do cinematic stuff, it wasn't good. And then you
Yeah,
have Robert Rodriguez, like one of the premier directors on the planet, like, hey, I'm gonna do wrestling.
yeah,
Okay, like I'm not,
yeah.
and yeah,
Just
there was
cause
a lot of
he
jokes
liked it.
about that in the wrestling community, like, oh yeah, that's gonna be great, haha, and then it was, and it was like,
Yeah,
oh well, okay, so I think the biggest question for me, the biggest questions at least are who's funding it and are they partnered with somebody already, like an existing promote, like an existing established promotion, or and then on top of that, where are the roster going to be sourced from? Because like really, I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers in the southwestern United States who could fit in on this show. They're just if you take all of those really great luchadors across the Southwest and put them on Lucha Underground, that kind of fucks up all the lucha in the Southwest of the United States. So I'm
Well,
very,
I mean, it may or may not. You got to remember that they tape them in seasons.
yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
can't imagine that anybody they would sign to Lucha Underground would be for an exclusive contract.
I mean, we hope not, but
At
wrestling
least,
is different these days. It's been 7 years, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, the only exclusivity I would imagine that there would be baked in is like, okay, these are the dates we're taping. You can't take any dates for these dates
Yeah.
for
But
other wrestling promotions.
that also is going to be predicated on who is involved.
Yeah,
Because I think that's the thing that's getting me the most, man. Is like who is doing this?
yeah,
Like, who is doing this? That's the question I need answered because I can't commit to watching it again or any of that shit until I know who has the reins. Because if it's anybody WWE or TKO associated, sorry, the
yeah.
season will not exist to me in my head canon at all. It won't. It just won't, and that would suck because I love Lucha Underground. I fucking love Lucha Underground. We definitely need more of that. Like, God, I've been looking for a second promotion that I could watch regularly, and this one I could definitely get access to the channel that it's on and watch it. And but I don't know that all important question of like who's funding this, who are they
Yeah.
involved with, and that's it's not because whoever's funding it might not be worth a fuck. It's because are they in bed with TKO? Like that's really the big thing. If it's not anybody TKO or WWE affiliated, cool. I'll watch it and I'll give it a shot, and we'll see what the answers to the rest of my questions are. But yeah, the roster first and foremost, and who's funding it, pretty close thereafter. Like I think that's a big important question as to how this is going to get done. Because if there's somebody doing it on a budget, man, like we're about to meet a lot of new wrestlers that we've never heard of before.
And that's exciting though.
I mean, yeah, it is.
That's really like I like that possibility, honestly. I,
Yeah,
I think it's better that they get a couple of recognizable names and then build a whole bunch of new people. I think that's I love learning about new wrestlers that I've never seen before. I
yeah,
love getting excited for people that I've never seen before. It's one of the best things about being a fan of like independent wrestling and
yeah,
going to those shows is that I guarantee you any indie worth their salt is going to have a couple of guys who you've never seen before that are going to blow you away.
yeah, yeah,
And it makes you realize in the moment, it's like, I'm seeing the future of the
mhm,
industry forming before my eyes. And that's such an incredible feeling.
yeah,
It makes you really, it makes you feel like your fandom is worth it
yeah, yeah. It
because you
does.
get to see the evolution of it and you get to be on the ground floor of supporting the evolution of something that you love.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love like watching oh man, hey, I know that guy. He's on TV now. That's crazy. I was
Yeah.
refereeing a match for him like 6 months ago.
Yeah. It's great
Like
having a local indie and seeing guys come through. It's like, and then seeing them get signed. It's like, yeah, I knew that guy when. I mean,
yeah.
you don't really like know them.
I mean, a
I
couple
mean,
of them I
in
did,
in
yeah, but
well, you're in a more unique position
yeah,
as
that's true.
somebody in the industry being a referee.
Yeah,
But like me as just a fan, it's just like I don't really know them, but it's like I'm aware of them.
yeah,
It's that kind of hipster insider deal. It's like yeah, I knew about this guy before you did.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know what this guy's about.
I knew
You
about
don't know
this
what
guy
you're
before he
talking
was
about.
cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, before everybody knew about him, I knew about him.
I mean, there's a reason that exists is
That's
because
true. Yeah,
that feeling is it makes you feel special. Like you had this knowledge that only you and a handful of other people were really privy to, and now
yeah,
everybody else is learning that you were right about this one guy or this one
Yeah.
girl. You
Like that
know,
guy's
it's
fantastic. You got to check him out. Oh, look, he's on
yeah,
WWE all of a sudden. Or he's on
and
AEW. He's
it
somewhere.
helps you be a better fan too if you know how to utilize that knowledge for good as a
Yeah.
wrestling fan, as an ambassador for this interest that we all share. You know, you
Yeah.
could be like, yes, this guy is. I'm glad you discovered this guy. This guy is great. I can point you to this and this and this and this, and then that opens up that person's minds and their experience to others who they can attach themselves to
Yeah.
emotionally. Like
Yeah.
it's a cool thing to be the wrestling fan that opens up somebody's mind to the glory that is this niche interest that we share.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I hate gatekeeping. I think it's so stupid.
No.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, yes, obviously keep the Nazis out and stuff like that.
Well,
Keep
yeah.
the bad
Yeah.
faith actors out and stuff like that. But like, if you love something, why would you want to keep people from experiencing it? Why would you not want to have more people in your life that you can share that interest with?
Right.
Why
Right.
would you
Yeah.
actively lock people out of that? Because why? They're not as experienced. You like what, to feel superior?
Yeah.
All you're doing is being a bad ambassador for the thing that you love, which means you don't really love that thing. You love feeling superior.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah,
That's kind
it's
of why I didn't
gross.
get into
Don't be
Puro,
gross.
like Puro before I did, because like that whole like community back then of Puro people were like, oh, the wrestling we watch is so much better than the wrestling you watch. And
Yeah, I
then
mean, I
but
think
then
you're
they
gonna
wouldn't like
find.
enlighten you. They'd just be like, I'm just better. That's why.
Yeah, I think
Fucking assholes.
every fandom of every genre of pop culture interest has that subsection of people who they want to feel important, they want to feel superior, and so they gatekeep. But it's really just self defeating.
Yeah,
It's so
it's stupid.
stupid.
It's like
It
if you
doesn't
love this thing
it
and you
doesn't
want it to
even
live,
stroke your own ego for that long.
no,
It
no.
really doesn't. It's
It's
not
only while the
satisfying.
interaction is happening. Like it's only while
Yeah.
the interaction is happening. Because yeah, I mean I've had people like, but like I don't know, man. I guess like I felt it, but I also feel better when I introduce somebody to the fandom. I'm like, oh yeah, this and this and this, because like that's like my dad introduced me to rock and roll music by letting me listen to songs and then telling me crazy like road stories and like myths about the artists. Like I was 5 notes into the first Ozzy song I ever listened to when my dad told me he pissed on the Alamo. He was like, oh yeah, this guy is great. He can't perform. Like I was like, oh cool, because like back in the day, like anytime my dad would show me a new band, I'd be like, can we go see him in concert? And so like we got through like the first like 3 fucking bars of Crazy Train, and I was like, I want to go see this guy in concert. And my dad was like, well, that guitar player that you're hearing is dead. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. And he's like,
sorry.
and he pissed on the Alamo, so he can't perform in Texas for like 10 more years, which was fucking true. Ozzy Osbourne did not like, he didn't perform in Texas uh until Ozfest. I was 16 years old. I went to Ozfest. First time I saw him, and the first time he performed in Texas since he pissed on the Alamo. Which is fucking hilarious, by the way. As a Texan, I was not offended. I was like, you mean this guy, like, this great dude pissed on the Alamo? They banned him from this. Why? Like, look, people have done way worse shit in Texas than piss on the Alamo, and they're banning him. Like, some of those guys got to live here permanently. Why does this guy have to get banned? Because, yeah, I mean, like, all I could think in my head was, like, people have done way worse shit, and they get to fucking live in this concrete building and get fed and clothed and housed by the state for the rest of their fucking life. But Ozzy got kicked out, and like can't come back. And
Yeah.
that's stupid. Like that was dumb. But like, yeah, but like it's so my dad would do that for me. So like whenever somebody expressed interest in something that I really liked, I was always super excited. Like, oh dude, come here. Let me show you. And here's
Yeah.
here's a bunch of shit that people don't really know. Like, like here's the underneath shit, Like I always try to explain, backstory and all kinds of crazy shit to people, and they'd be like, you're very talkative. I'm like, well, you're keying into something I like, and I want more
Yeah,
people to like it.
yeah.
Like
Show
I was,
how excited you are for it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I was always into rock and roll music and shit like that, and then like I had a mohawk and was already wearing spiky leather jackets and all that shit when pop punk became the thing when we were teenagers. Like when pop punk really hit, and that was like everybody was a
yeah,
punk rocker all of a sudden. Like I already had a mohawk and all that. Like I really wasn't like a punk guy, but like I listened to punk music. I didn't classify myself. I listened to everything.
right.
So these when people would come and be like, "Oh, what do you know about this?" I'd be like, "Oh, let me show you." Like, do you know what hardcore is? Because if you like this pop punk stuff, man, you want something a little harder edge. Like, there's this stuff called hard. Come here, let me show you Black Flag. Like, but forget Newfound Glory. Let me show you, the Vandals and stuff like that. Like, if you like pop punk, like you'll really love these guys from 1994 who were doing it back then.
Yeah,
Or if you like something harder edge, you'll really love these guys from 1985. Like, and
yeah.
so I never understood gatekeeping, and to me it's stupid. But like the 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 thing about it is like now everything's so open, it's harder to gatekeep things because like what can you tell me that Google can't tell me? Like, so if you really want
Right.
to gatekeep something from me, but I really want to know about it, I'm going to go find out anyway. I can just pull this thing out of
Yeah.
my pocket and fucking find, type it in Google and ask Google a specific question. Like the other day, I was so outraged by it because like I just got done watching Deadwood again, and I was like, I want to watch Westworld. So I go to watch Westworld, and it's not on HBO Max, and I'm like, fuck
Really?
not. Yeah, yeah, and I'm like, the fuck not? Why not?
That's one of its own
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, it is. It is. So I go to Google and I'm livid. So I'm like, hey, Google, why the fuck isn't Deadwood on HBO Max? And Google was like, oh, I can see you're frustrated by Google by Westworld not being on HBO Max. It's because HBO doesn't want to pay residuals on the show because of the expense of creating it and all that stuff. So they farmed it out somewhere else. It's like on some of those like free ad supported TV networks like Tubi or something like that. But yeah, they didn't want to pay residuals on it, so they uh, what's the word, like serial, like franchised it out or whatever.
Syndicated it.
Yeah, they syndicated it to someone else, but they took it's not on HBO Max at all, which pissed me off. I was like, what do you mean? This is where I watched it in the first place. So but
That's crazy.
yeah, I think the other thing with Lucha Underground, though, back to the original subject, is that where are they streaming?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a big
Yeah.
thing too. Like, are you streaming on a platform that doesn't currently have wrestling? Is someone else moving into the wrestling business?
Are they even streaming if they're just going to be on cable?
Are they just going to be on like El
I mean,
Rey
the
on
original
cable?
was on El Rey, right?
Yeah, it was on El Rey. Which
Which
I
not
mean,
everybody gets.
yeah, not everybody gets. I mean, it could be on. I mean, for all we know, it could be on Univision or Telemundo or something. Like
True.
it could really be like anywhere. We have no idea where they're going to place it. Like literally, they gave us a
They
clue
gave
that
us
they
one
might be,
question.
yeah, they gave us a clue they might be returning, but that is all we fucking got. It was like, oh, they might be coming back. Where, who, when, why, how? Like I have so many questions. I have so
I
many
know.
fucking questions. I'm sure that it's going to be mentioned on the news services that I watch because they did mention this, but like I have so many questions.
Hopefully, within the next couple weeks or soon at least, we can get some answers because I'm uh, like I said, I'm only kind of tangentially, I guess, familiar. Like I know certain aspects of it. I've seen a few matches here and there. I know a little bit about the history of it, but I didn't really watch it at
Yeah.
all.
It
Uh,
would
it,
be, it would,
so I'd be interested in a finding a place to catch up on that easily without having to spend a fortune, and b having it continue
mhm.
so that there's another place for people to go and get exposure if nothing
Yeah.
else.
I do recommend sitting down and watching. Like if you, because I mean, they might be coming back. Okay, cool. But even in the event they don't, if you like watch the 3 seasons kind of as like you were watching a Super Juniors or something, just
Yeah,
like just think of it like, okay, these 3 seasons are like this event in wrestling, and that's it. Just take it for that, and like it's worth the watch. The wrestling is top fucking notch. Lucha
yeah,
Underground is definitely part of the AEW blueprint, no question,
yeah.
no
I
fucking
believe that.
question. Because if you watch the Lucha Underground wrestling and you think about the other wrestling that was happening on television at the time that Lucha Underground was happening, Lucha Underground is 100% the work rate promotion for its time. 100%. No questions
Yeah,
asked. That's where the workers were working. So I can only hope that's what happens again. Like we get somebody funding who's not a complete fucking chode, and it streams at a place where I have access to it or can get access to it, and that the wrestling stays at this level, because you came to like over the course of these 3 seasons, you come to expect, like even after like midway first season, you're already at this level of expectation where you're like, everything here has like a fucking floor that's at most people's ceiling. Everything.
yeah,
So worth the watch. And I am excited for it to come back, but we'll just have to see exactly what happens with that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's I think that's our call it in the ring for the week. It was a good week of wrestling, really.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
but yeah, so we will be joining you guys next week, same time, same channel, all that good stuff. Thank you for listening. We love you guys. Thanks to our sponsors, Team Disaster Plan and Weirwood and Prognostic Pedals. Weirwood has a new album coming out sometime soon. It's going to be a multimedia thing with like short stories and stuff attached to it. I will have more on the name and where you can hear and read all of that stuff soon. It will be free as usual. It's like a lo-fi project. Um, and thanks to Garrett Deming, our theme and closing songwriter. Uh, Garrett actually has a platform online. If you want to check out his music, you can check it out at elasticstage.com/Garrett Deming Music. That's GarrettDeming music. Garrett's stuff is amazing. You can, if you're a vinyl head, you can pick up a vinyl there of his stuff. But at the very least, check it out. The music's fantastic. If you like our opening theme, I'm sure you'll like more stuff that he creates. Thank you, Garrett, again for our wonderful theme song. Thanks, guys, for listening. Keep your head on out there. Keep it on a swivel. It's really fucking dangerous and shitty. We love you. Fuck guys.
Buckeyes.
And peace.
Deuces.